kicking like
1, 2,
Dolomite.
3,
Last one
4,
got copyright. I'm kicking like
5
Dolomite.
just to be sure.
Hey, one time,
Last
you
one
ready?
got
Copyright.
Yeah.
Last one got
Okay.
copyright. Hey.
You know what time it is. Every time I rhyme, it's just a sign that I'm about to kill. Yeah, it's time for weapon wheel. We got the skill, we got the games. Don't make me grab it still. I put a hole in one like Abby did to Joe. Yeah, when it comes to aiming, I don't miss like Master Chief. I'll grab the piece and give your ass a halo just for talking sweet. When it comes to gaming, yeah, you know our team's elite. Check the leaderboards, we run the game. You should pick up your feet. You can't lose them too smooth, just going to admit defeat. And ain't no captain around here, cause like Bond, I keep receipts. The most dangerous, better than these other guys. Try to come for us, what's like between your eyes like Jen Sakai. That's no lie, no prank. I grab the ratchet, no clank, and get my jiggy mask to show you how Jack Move got his name. Yeah.
Weapon Wheel Podcast.
Look, king of the castle like Cooper, captain of the ship. My name ain't Blandry, but don't make me have to hit the switch. We'll dump you overboard, then watch the views. I ain't talking Twitch. Hey yo, Alex, go ahead, talk to him real quick.
Oh, the Dolomite is my name, and thick enough motherfuckers is my game. Dolomite, motherfucker, you heard her.
Claim it, a strike to claim it.
They had the nerve to copyright the one time, it's just the bitches. Hey. Say yo, still putting wheels on the pavement. My game so tight, it's like Jordan 1 lazy. We stay in these gaming streets, ain't no way to be dormant. Hey, a Drake will leave your body uncharted like Lost Fortune. Coco long thing was cute, hey, and yeah, it served its purpose. But I'm trying to give a detailed description of what a hearse is. I say we flip the switch on these again before it get bland. I see a lot of pods jacking the format like Dapper Dan. You hitting the dislike button? You still a fan? Talk slick in the comments and like Dutch, I got a plan. We don't do the sneak diss, and that's that stuff that get you banned. Last time we told your I was squad up, you turn telling Ran. It's like I play with the sliders up. You just got 30, again turn me, the time is up. Since 2015, we been kicking game knowledge up. Dust your boots and join the crew if you wild enough.
Developers.
Dolomite, you heard her.
40 clips, kicking like Dolomite. Hey, 40 clips. Aimed at your fit beam, shotty, so much ammo, it don't make sense. Trying to compete is a sacrifice, die again in your afterlife. I'm taking a road trip, anytime you get on a fight. Guns and body counts, that's all that I tend to like. Any other podcast, a copy or look alike. Hey, and what they say? Hey, what I say? Hey, I put them in the dirt. Tussle get hurt, no face, no case, smashed up like a jiggy merch shirt. Sliding in that vet, I'm gonna get back, time to pay that debt. It's time for weapon wheel.
Wonder.
What weapon wheel? We keeping it true, we keeping it real. What weapon wheel? They watch our moves, they copying still. What weapon wheel? We keeping it true, don't care about your feels. What weapon wheel? They watch our moves, they copying still. Weapon wheel, watch how I show you my weapon wheel. Weapon wheel, watch how I show you my weapon wheel. What weapon wheel? We keeping it true, we keeping it real. What weapon wheel? They watch our moves, they copying still. BG, Black Bond, Jack Move, Kids Move, Blandrew, Alex too. Damn man, that's a heavy crew. Other pods, they don't know what to do. They watching, they copy our every move. And they still fly like the Wii U. Jack Move voice, we saying you. Hop off the roof. Long range, no scope, yeah, I'ma shoot. Looking wanna play games, no David Blaine, but I'll make a nigga go poof. Oh, this not a game. Gang talk, nigga, what you know about the slang. Hop out the range. All black master, don't step out your lane. Every week it's us on your screen. Every weekend we entertain. It's not a thing that gets in between me and my team, me and my gang. When I'm on the beat, you already know. Trace to the top, yeah, we about to blow. BG my dog, he told me let's go. Sit back, relax, it's time for the show. What weapon wheel? We keeping it true, we keeping it real. What weapon wheel? They watch our moves, they copying still. What weapon wheel? We keeping it true, don't care about your feels. What weapon wheel? They watch our moves, they copying still. Weapon wheel, watch how I show you my weapon wheel. Weapon wheel, watch how I show you my weapon wheel. What weapon wheel? We keeping it true, we keeping it real. What weapon wheel? They watch our moves, they copying still.
We got the guns on deck, no foul car, but you know I came with a tech. Yeah, since 2015, been stepping on the scene, putting foots on nets. Yeah, set 'em up, super soaker, pump action, wet 'em up, shooting out the. Yeah, we catching up. We got the names, y'all are bark. Drive by midnight after dark. Gaming knowledge, fortitude. Top two and not the two. Weapon wheel. Get the cash and grab the steel. Yeah. Weapon wheel. Out the window.
What weapon well? We keeping it true, we keeping it real. What weapon well? They watch our moves, they copying still. What weapon well? We keeping it true, don't care about your feels. What weapon well? They watch our moves, they copying still. Weapon well, watch out and show you my weapon well. Weapon well, watch out and show you my weapon well. What weapon well? We keeping it true, we keeping it real. What weapon well? They watch our moves, they copying still.
Yo, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, yo, BG, what up?
Persona, Asa, what's going on, man?
Chillin', man. What's good with you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Chad, let me know if y'all hear everybody good. I love the days when
We're live. I didn't even know.
oh yeah, I go live immediately. I love the days when my guests are here before my actual podcast members. Those are the days. You know,
Start docking that pay. They'll be here on time.
man. You know, this is what it comes to. You know, when you do a podcast with people long enough, they get comfortable. They're like, it's just BG. Who cares? Who cares? It sounds like I'm underwater. What?
No, you sound good here.
That's weird. Okay, 1 second. Let me try to fix.
You.
Yo, Bond, what up?
Not much, slaving away, taking out trash, making sandwiches, doing dishes.
For the usual Sunday shit.
That's slave labor, apparently. Now my girl did it all for me.
Jeez. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's some nasty coffee. Let me throw this shit out. Ugh.
Check. Yo. All right. Yo. Y'all hear me? Chat, let me know how I sound now. I think, all right, I'm good now. I don't know what the hell happened. That was weird. What up, Bond?
I just had some nasty ass peppermint coffee. Ugh.
Who
Throw
made
that
that?
shit out. It's from a Keurig. Shit's been sitting around for like a holiday gift, like the holiday like peppermint shit.
Yeah.
What's a Keurig?
What?
What's a Keurig?
You don't know what like the little coffee things are, the K cups?
They probably don't. They probably don't have that across the lake. They probably don't call them that. Rather.
Where are you from?
UK. But I get like a coffee pod thing with toothpaste in it.
Yeah, it's like those coffee pod thing. Yeah, this shit is nasty. Ugh.
Yeah. Wonder what they call it in the. See, I just call it coffee pots.
Pod.
I guess.
I probably. I don't know. Yeah, we drink tea. Leaky's right. We drink tea.
True. Because the Keurig is just the brand, right? It's not even.
Yeah, but it was the OG, so we just call it that.
Yeah, so everybody just calls it the Keurig. Okay.
It's like back in the day, they didn't call video games. They called video games Nintendo.
Yeah, playing Nintendo over there.
Yeah, you playing video? No, I'm playing Nintendo. Nobody ever said I'm playing Sega's. I'm playing Nintendo.
Yeah. Where's Smooth? Smooth is late. That's where he's at.
Yeah, Smooth has to today to accept the terms that I had given him. Otherwise, I'm rescinding my offer.
Jazzy, how do you keep getting in here? Just quiet, nothing to say. Just keep sneaking in here every Sunday. I dig it.
Also, Persona, how are we gonna handle this business with Neo Games work?
What you mean?
Why is he not playing the Legend of Heroes?
Hey, man. That man is his own man. I can't tell him what to play. He gonna do what he do.
He gonna play Legend of Mid, Legend of Dragoon.
I mean,
Absolutely shameful.
What is he playing instead?
Legend of Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon.
Oh.
I mean, it's understandable. You know?
Legend of Mid.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not playing that unless they remake it or something.
Facts. Like,
I feel like this is a test. You feel me? To really gauge the interest.
There ain't no test. But I'm just. Oh, for Sony.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, somebody was like, how can you call Legend of Dragoon and Darts mid? Well, 1, I own it. 2, I never really played it much because that shit was trash. But 3, game came out 2 years after Xenogears. Mid.
Well, I also invited Umbra. He said he was going to be joining today.
Jack's not here, right? What are they
no.
doing? Like that sausage fest in Houston or something?
Yeah, Jack and Alex are
that's wild.
are on a date. They're on a date hanging out with degenerates like Chop and well, shout out to E-Rock. He's still a degenerate, but yeah, they all hanging out together. They went on some type of bromance date, you know? One of those things.
Like, is there like an event going down there? Or do they just all go to hang out?
I don't know. I think they just wanted to see each other and
what the fuck?
You know, they wanted to see each other. They wanted, you know, they're like, you don't just want to see other men that are your friends, Bond?
The only person I'm trying to see on the internet is Kid Smooth to collect some money.
Oh man, you know, it's just some brothers hanging out with each other, bonding, man. You know, nothing wrong with it.
I like to bond with people, but not with other men.
Oh man, you got it. You got it.
This man literally took off a weapon wheel to go meet some other men over the internet?
Indeed he did.
Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we gonna still do what we do. Still gotta entertain the people, unfortunately. Still gotta talk about all these topics and yeah. Deal with today. I don't know what's going on with Jazzy, why he keeps leaving and coming back. But it wasn't that crazy of a week. It was like PSVR and State of Play and like one other thing. Wasn't that much going on. So I don't think we should take up the 3 hours we usually do. But
so we should we could have started later than today because we're gonna take it right into The Last of Us anyway.
Yeah.
But we're here now.
Yeah, whenever it ends, it ends. I'm gonna need one of you racing guys, either Hardhead or J-Got to come in here, because to talk about that Gran Turismo Sophy topic. I don't know what the hell that is. It's some AI that they just added to Gran Turismo. Apparently that's apparently, I guess, a big deal. But one of you racing dudes, you know, come in here for that.
So the Sophy thing, and analyzes how you drive and collects data from like all over, and it's supposed to be like the most advanced computer generated racing. So if you're racing against them, it's supposed to be more realistic because it analyzes how you race and how other people race and things like that, and it goes based off that.
Okay.
So like if you wanted to like practice racing, like racing against an AI like that would be like the ultimate like test because it's so advanced in how it analyzes and whatnot.
More advanced than Mario Kart 64's ghost data?
I don't know about that, but you know, it's definitely a pretty interesting thing. But how they got that set up.
Yeah. All right. Let me get started. Episode 354 of Weapon Wheel Podcasts. So if you don't know, the podcast is going to have a hard stop at 8:45 if we reach that far, because we have the Last of Us watch party at 9:00. And then after we start answering the After Dark questions, whenever that episode ends, we're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. If you want to become part of the Weapon Wheel community, you could support our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Weapon Wheel Podcast. You can also become, a channel member. That'll give you access. That can give you access to the After Dark watch party, the Discord itself, all that good stuff. Just check out the tiers. Make sure you support. Hit the like button. And if you want to submit a video to be featured during the podcast, like what you're watching right now, there is a link in the description. You can just drag and drop your video in there. Appreciate all gameplay that y'all send. I usually use most of it unless it's absolute garbage. All right. Let's do these intros. Persona.
Hey man, what's good, man? Your boy Persona, Gamer with Persona. Definitely, happy to be here. Shout out to BG, appreciate the invite. Shout out to the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And excited to talk about today's topics.
All right, Asa.
Yeah, it's Game On Daily, Asa. Thanks again for the invite. Like, really happy to be here. We're going to talk about some VR stuff, I think, and all of these other topics. So, like Persona said, if you like VR, if you don't, smash that like button. Yeah, let's go.
Bond, there's going to be VR talk today, so I'm gonna need you to just accept it, just relax. It's going to happen.
I'm not feeling too good. I might need to take a day off, like Smooth and Jack
man.
right now. The stomach is starting to hurt, but we doing well today. Not it's just been a relaxing weekend. Nothing really crazy. No insane gaming news. Yeah. I guess it's time for VR, and Alex isn't even here. But you know what Alex and them could have done? They could have done the podcast. Look, I've done the podcast from beach houses. I've done the podcast from the pool. They could be in their hotel and be in here. I'm not trying to hear those excuses.
Oh man, get them.
And lastly, all I gotta say is Smooth. Your last day. Do you want to play Last of Us 2 Part 2 Grounded or not? Trying to help you out. The streets want you to play.
Smooth.
Game's too damn long, man.
Do the intro and answer that question.
What's up? It's the best spot kid, Smooth. Yeah, I found Last of Us Part 2 good, but it's just too damn long for a challenge, man.
It's not a challenge. You just have to you finish the game and you get
I
your
finished the
money back.
game already.
Smooth. If you finish the game, I'll erase your bet. You're probably going to get a ton of views of people watching it. So literally by you finishing this game, you're going to wipe out 3 bets.
All right. Cool. All right.
The streets want to see it.
I don't know if that's
And
a yes.
I got the Sagat remixes ready to go too.
Yeah. But y'all deal with that in After Dark. Until then, let's get to these topics. Let me see what I'm going to start out with. We're going to get to VR early. Let me see what to start out with. Let's talk about let's get some sales stuff out the way. Some impressive sales. So Elden Ring, after a year, because it came out February. It came out February last year, right?
Yeah.
So after about a year, they confirmed it sold 20 million worldwide shipments. That includes digital and physical sales, I believe they said. So Elden Ring continues to do very well. Those are impressive numbers. I don't think there's that much else to say about it. We know it lit the world on fire last year. It was a lot of people's first Souls game, clearly, because all the other previous Souls games sold like 3, 4, 5 million. So for this to sell 15 million, clearly the vast majority is people that have never touched a Souls game other than Elden Ring.
Has to be.
That FOMO. I think it's now we can officially say the Soul series is not niche anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'd be wondering, because like Wolong is coming out, and not that anybody is going to connect Elden Ring with Wolong, but it is a Souls game. So, but I don't know if that Elden Ring, success is going to carry on into other Souls games that are even like I don't even know if when FromSoftware makes another Souls game, if it's not literally called Elden Ring 2, I don't even know if it sells that much. Like, what if it's like literally go back to Dark Souls or they make something new? I don't know if it's gonna have that same success.
Well, I think with Wulong, we're not really seeing that same level of hype, and the game comes out in like a week, 2 weeks. So I agree with you there that Wulong definitely, I don't think is going to see the same success, especially since it's also being in Game Pass. So, that definitely speaks volumes.
Was that a shot?
No, what are you talking about?
Well,
Are you going to buy the game, Kid Smooth, or are you going to play in the Game Pass?
I'm actually playing the game now.
Oh, well, all right, you got it for free. But most people who are going to be on that platform are going to be playing in the Game Pass, so that's one less sale.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I think when it comes to FromSoftware, I think FromSoftware is just a very popular they're very popular right now. Like I think them as a development team definitely are stepping into that spotlight of mainstream. So I do think if they do come out with like another Souls game and it's from software, I can see it getting the same level of hype for sure.
Hey, sir,
I think they got to call it Elden something.
It'll be Elden Ring too. They'll make 3 Elden Rings like they made 3 Dark Souls, and they'll go into something different. Here's why FromSoftware is starting to get very popular, more popular than what they would. I'm not even gonna say it because Souls games are amazing. I'm gonna say it like this. In a world where everything is getting censored, everything is PG, everything is scaled down, everything has accessibility options, everything has easy mode, everything's trying to cater to the casuals, expand the audience. There's really only one developer out there that says, we make what we want to make. If you don't like it, tough shit. FromSoftware.
Well, you also got to look at like the public reception. Like, Keeley was pushing his game heavy at a couple of the Game Awards, some Game Fests and things like that. And, people were like 2 or 3 years ago, people were yearning for like gameplay and more news about Elden Ring because it was the first true open world Souls-like game. So I think a lot of that also played into it, where you got people who may not necessarily look at the Souls genre, but like open world games, right? So they, that definitely captures their attention as well. I think the fact that this was FromSoftware's first attempt at a true open world Souls-like game, all eyes is on them. So of course the anticipation and things like that played into it. FOMO, word of mouth. They saw a lot of success from a lot of that stuff.
And I still don't think Elden Ring is even the best Souls game.
Nope.
And
has the most content though.
It's the most accessible though, and I think that's a big part of it. It's very accessible,
Yeah, and the only thing I worry about, from Elden Ring's success is I don't think the open world is what I prefer for Souls games. I like the more linear, semi open environments, but not world. I don't think it's the best thing because I got like open world fatigue from Elden Ring. There were a bunch of repeat, cloned bosses, of course. So, even when I got up to the kingdom, I was like, the game should end here. But you had to keep going further and then come back to the kingdom. I was like, yeah, this game feeling a little bit. 100 hours is, more than I think. Like the sweet spot is like 50, 60 hours for Souls games. Like that 100 hours was too much for me and for me personally. And I platinumed the game and everything, but that 100 hours is too much for me. So, Asa, you play Souls games?
Yeah, I played it a bit. So Demon's Souls Remake was my first like proper Souls game, which was pretty easy, and I got all the way through that one. I got Elden Ring, and I got like 20, 30 hours into it, but I got it on the PC where the performance was like a bit dog. So I figured I'll wait for a patch, but there was a mace that I really wanted, so I grinded to respec my character to get a hold of this mace, flail thing, Knight Rider. I can't remember what it was called, but I eventually got it and ran around the world a bit, like beating some stuff up with it, and then kind of didn't have anything that I was aiming for anymore, so I just stopped playing it. Pretty good though. Do you reckon it would have sold like more at 70? Because that was a cheap game. In the UK, it was 50 quid instead of 70 quid. Do you reckon it would have hurt it if it cost that bit extra?
Yeah. Okay. And the other game we got some sales information on is Hogwarts Legacy, which sold 12 million in 2 weeks.
AK ballin'.
Oh yeah.
That's PS5, Xbox, and PC. So that's really good, man. Like,
what happened to the Switch version?
Oh, that's coming out. What's that? May?
Comes out April.
Oh, yeah.
April.
Yeah, it's why that game's gonna sell a shitload on the Switch too.
Unfortunately.
Why you say unfortunately?
I mean, it's going to be a terrible version. We know that. It's horrible.
It's do like a cloud version or something like that, because like playing a game on PS5, this is a massive game with a massive world, a lot of things going on and whatnot. So I find it hard to believe that this would run natively on a Switch. unless they severely dumb it down to like almost unplayable levels.
I mean, they got The Witcher on it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I don't really see Nintendo.
I wouldn't recommend that.
I don't really see Nintendo fans rushing out to play Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch. They would. No. Especially if it's a Western RPG, I don't see Nintendo fans really gravitating towards that at all.
You don't see a bunch of kids gravitating to Harry Potter.
Not everybody on game on Switch is a kid though, Bond. So, as plus a lot of people that's been hyping this thing, Hogwarts Legacy, has been primarily either people who have never been to Harry Potter, or people who have been and just kind of just made it known. And they've gotten the game already. They're not waiting on a Switch version.
I mean, but Harry Potter, the world and lore of like Harry Potter and wizardry and all that type of stuff is extremely, extremely popular just in general. But you've got a lot of people that are just going out, picking up this game just off the strength of that alone, or buying consoles and getting into it for that. And I think when it comes to this game specifically, it captures that Harry Potter-esque wizardry vibe that you would be looking for, where I think a lot of people who are into that would definitely find a lot of joy out of this game. I could definitely see a lot of people just straight up like, oh shit, they got a Harry Potter-like game on PlayStation, on Xbox, PC. Oh, I want that. And so, you know, people who aren't gamers or don't necessarily game as hardcore as someone might would on a regular, going out buying consoles just to pick this game up. Because I mean, to sell 12 million on next-gen consoles only in 2 weeks, yo, that's big, man. That's huge.
That game is selling on the Switch. Like, I'm sorry, it
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah, like man, 12. That's that. Those are It might be. See, I don't know if they confirmed the Call of Duty's coming out this year, right? They're still doing one.
It's like a premium. It's supposed to be like a premium expansion.
No, they said it will be standalone.
Did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's gonna have like the multiplayer and all that.
Yeah.
And so I would say Hogwarts is gonna be the second best-selling game of the entire year. I think second is safe. I don't think.
I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be this could be a bet going on right now, because I think it's definitely gonna outsell Call of Duty this year. Here's why: one, it's getting a Switch version. Two, Call of Duty don't come out till the fall.
That never seems to stop Call of Duty.
There's still some heavy hitters releasing this year, like Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man.
Hold up. So y'all really think in 2.5 months it's gonna be able to outsell 10 months of Hogwarts?
I don't know. I just never go against Call of Duty sales.
Absolutely, because Modern Warfare 2 broke sales records last year, and it did that in like a week. It grossed like $1 billion. It was the highest selling game in the franchise.
Yeah,
I think Call of Duty would be one, but obviously Zelda is another. The way those games sell on Nintendo is ridiculous.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 2 sold 8 million in 3 days.
Damn.
It's Zelda game not gonna catch up to Hogwarts.
And Hogwarts did that in 2 weeks. It did 12 million in 2 weeks. So it's like, you know, I could definitely see COD is definitely gonna be up there. Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, come on, you know. People are definitely gonna grab that up. I think
Tears of the Kingdom. I think most of
the big one as well.
The install base is gonna buy Tears of the Kingdom, at least a good portion of it.
Yeah, it's not gonna catch up to Hogwarts sales though. That's
hold up! Breaking news! I did not even know this fight was happening, but Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit one of those Snoop Dogs on you. Who? I don't know who the hell that is.
I'm saying I didn't even know this fight was happening.
Yeah, they were watching the other Discord. But
Tears of the Kingdom releases in May, so I absolutely see it. I absolutely see it. You know, shattering sales records as well. I mean, come on, this is like one of the most, you know, top anticipated games of the year. So Tears of the Kingdom is absolutely going to shatter sales records. Hogwarts, COD, if it releases this year, depending on, you know, how they do it. And you know, I think Spider-Man 2 as well is going to be like a really big seller this year.
Yeah.
I'm calling that game Tears of the Frame Rate.
Oh God. Umbra, you want to just do an intro real quick?
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought you guys started a bit later, but yeah, got here as quick as I could. What's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, fellas on the panel? Asa, what's up, brother? I didn't know you was going to be here too.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good to see you all. Yeah, I'm Umbra, guys. Infinite Umbra, but Umbra here as well. Obviously, you can call me that for short. You can find me typically on Boom's podcast, Xbox Factor, and I have the Xbox Infinite podcast on Fridays. And I got my own. I have working. I'm doing rather. So yeah.
All right.
I'd rather have Infinite Umbra than Halo Infinite.
Oh man. Hardhead, I wanted you to come in here real quick. Persona gave some info on it already, but the Sophy AI in Gran Turismo, got anything you want to say about that?
Oh, that's what y'all was talking about?
Yeah, because is this an AI that's like in other racing games? Because people were talking about it they thought like it should have been in Gran Turismo from the beginning. So I assume this is something that's
it's a big deal for racing games because the problem with a lot of the AI in the racing games is for the developers to give the AI a chance to keep up with an actual player, they usually give the AI some kind of unrealistic characteristics to them. For example, in Forza, the hardest difficulty you can put the AI on is the unbeatable difficulty. But the only actual problem with the unbeatable difficulty is it gives the AI this weird type of grip for their cars. So it's like they taking a curved corner, full speed, 260 miles per hour, like they car stuck to the track. And that's usually what devs would go for when they're trying to give AI a chance to keep up with you. Or, like the most traditional thing that they would do is the rubber banding, where the AI just gets speed boosts to keep up with you as they do in like a Need for Speed game. So with the Sophy stuff, it's actually supposed to be learning the track and actually, it drives. It's supposed to drive like a real person. It kind of does from what I've seen. I haven't got a chance to test it yet. I was actually messing with my wheel before y'all started. Well, before they started asking me about the topic, because I was like, what topic you asking Jay Guy about? Ain't nothing really happened on the PC front driving games lately.
Oh man.
But I mean, Sophy's real good. I've watched like a few hours worth of footage of it. The best drivers that I know of in the GT communities, and they even struggling to keep up with it. So that should give you some kind of indication of how good it is. And like I said, it doesn't do any of that bullshit where the AI is rubber banding or they have some kind of unrealistic driving going on with their car. Like they drive train is way better than yours. For some reason, their car drives like it has 200 more horsepower or some shit like that. It doesn't do none of that kind of stuff.
But this is not something that's specific to specific to Gran Turismo, though, right?
Yes, the Sophy shit is this AI specifically, because like I was saying, the games I'm giving you examples of is all the recent games that have been coming out. So you can just to give you an idea that this is not something that's been solved yet, to where there's just a decent AI for racing game. And I honestly forgot all about it when they first announced, because they announced it when they first announced the game. And I forgot all about it until now because I didn't even realize it wasn't in the game. I thought the AI in the game was already pretty decent, but at the same time, I was beating them most of the time, so I'm gonna see what it's looking like this week because I'm still setting up my wheel again and shit.
All right,
but from what I've seen in the footage, it's they actually react to the way you drive. If you're trying to run them off the road, they might slow down and throw you in a ditch type shit. You can still try your best to run them off the road. They'll even dive bomb sometimes, which is like a tactic people use going into a corner to try to overtake somebody right before they start breaking into the corner. And if you play it right, you can trick the AI like you're driving against a real person.
Got you. Okay. Appreciate that info, sir.
No problem.
All right. Right before we get into the VR, I want to get this out the way too. Unfortunately, it's close to the topic of the dumbass acquisition I'm sick of hearing about. But also, about Nintendo, obviously, which we were just talking about them and, their console and everything. So Microsoft and Nintendo signed a binding 10-year deal to release Call of Duty on the Switch. The only part of this that I cared about was like, okay, if any Call of Duty game comes out before Nintendo makes their next console, let's say it comes out on the Switch, it's gonna be dog shit. We know it's gonna be terrible. But even on Nintendo's next gen console, whenever like we get to see that, it's like, is Nintendo actually gonna create, like, nobody wants Nintendo to make like some powerhouse, like, you know, Xbox and PlayStation always aim to create like strong consoles. But can y'all make a console that doesn't require that some games that come to y'all platform need a cloud version? That's all we asking for. Like, if y'all gonna get Call of Duty, actually make a console that can play Call of Duty locally on the damn thing and not through the cloud. But that's the part I care about. What do y'all think about this deal overall and all that?
As far as this deal goes, because they even said that it's not just Call of Duty. They said like other Xbox titles will be coming to Nintendo as well.
Oh, actually, Brad Smith walked that back. He walked that back.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, they word stuff badly sometimes, I think. That's all.
Yeah, he walked that statement back. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it was par for the course, because, you know, Microsoft already put stuff like Ori on the Blind Forest, both of those games on Nintendo.
Ori and
without
the
ever
Forest.
Yeah, and they didn't even bother, obviously never coming into PlayStation. So for Call of Duty, I don't really see, like, the Nintendo fan base in particular is really unbothered by all this, because we really didn't care either way, because a lot of the Nintendo fans don't even fuck with Call of Duty, or they play it somewhere else, like PlayStation or an Xbox or PC. So for Microsoft to go out of their way to do 10 years, I think I don't really get. Well, I do get it. It's money. If the money is to be there to put it on there, and I feel like it just shows that Microsoft is going to put more effort to put Call of Duty on Nintendo than they ever would put into like PlayStation in the future. So.
Oh, I just
well, you got to think about the argument is that the regulators are arguing like the availability of Call of Duty making it exclusives and stuff. So in order to solve that, they kind of had to offer it. It was like, well, they can argue Call of Duty's already everywhere. Well, technically it's not. It's not on really any streaming services, and it's not on Nintendo. So we can offer it in two places it's never really been, and that counters the argument of exclusivity and stuff like that. So it's not more so like oh, they want to do this and stuff like that. It's just that it's a move because PlayStation's not going to sign an agreement. Nvidia is pretty strong, a strong party, and Nintendo obviously one of the best-selling platforms, a big enough party that regulators keep ignoring exists. But it's just more so of a situation they had to do or had to offer, because they're not going to. They're not going to get anything. PlayStation's not going to do them any favors, so they got to go for everybody else.
I agree with that, but I'll also add that I disagree with you, Jazzy, on a point of them not wanting it more on PlayStation. PlayStation would be the biggest crowd they would aim for. Nintendo, obviously, if they can manage to get a foothold there, that would be spectacular for them, because as they pointed out, there's 150 million possible, new customers. Obviously, that many wouldn't buy it into it, but still, I mean, we see how their first-party sales. So imagine them actually, I say 5% investing into a COD or something like that. That'd be crazy good for Microsoft.
Yeah. But I'm only talking about as far as like. Oh, my bad.
No, I was gonna say, I think when it comes to this, it's an empty gesture, because at the end of the day, Nintendo doesn't care, because if they did, they would have been trying to get COD on their platform prior to this acquisition. This is more so Microsoft grasping at straws and trying to do any and everything to make themselves look good to regulators so that they could get the deal across the finish line.
If Nintendo didn't care, why would they sign? Why did they sign? They could do what Steam did, and Steam didn't sign any agreement.
Because Nintendo's not going to say no to somebody trying to put something on their platform where they could benefit more money. But what I'm saying is, to Nintendo, they don't care either way, because they're good with what they're doing, which is why you don't see them moving in the same type, really speaking up about this in any type of way. People are coming to them and say, well, Nintendo, you want this? You want that? Sure, okay. If somebody walked up to you with a bag of money, you're going to turn them away? No, you're going to say, okay, sure, whatever. But you're not going to seek that shit out. And so
they're not pressed about Call of Duty.
Yeah, they're not pressed. But my whole thing with Nintendo is Nintendo is still stuck in the past when it comes to a lot of online friendly features. Like, we don't even have an invite system, on the Nintendo platform. Speaking in a party chat on Nintendo is next to impossible. Those are things that I think if I was someone that primarily played on Nintendo, if I primarily played on Nintendo, I wouldn't give a shit about COD. Like most people on Nintendo don't care about COD, but just for the sake of this conversation, if I was someone that was on Nintendo primarily and was looking at COD and it was coming to my platform, those would be things that I would be worried about because it's like, well, it's hard to do that stuff now. So how would that be? How would that make for a seamless, streamlined, or quality experience into the future if Nintendo isn't investing into those features that would make it so?
I'm imagining that their next console or whatever they're going to do with it might have better. Hopefully, it have better than that. It's crazy that they're so far behind when it comes to things like that PlayStation and Microsoft excel at. But I would say I disagree on one thing. I do agree with you that Nintendo is like, okay, yeah, give it to us. I'll take it. But I disagree on Microsoft's reaching and grasping. Microsoft had this planned out a long time ago, and their plan was to get to 3 billion gamers. I don't think they'll ever get quite to that, but you don't get that by just staying on Xbox. You have to reach out to other platforms, and I think Nintendo is just part of that plan.
I don't know, man. I don't really see Nintendo fans really affected by this. That's why I say I've barely been paying attention to this Activision stuff with Microsoft and Sony and all that stuff. I've barely been paying attention to it.
Because last COD,
a lot of Nintendo fans feel the same way.
Last COD on Switch was Black Ops. Was it Black Ops?
No, it was on the Wii U, I believe.
Oh, I could have sworn it was.
I think the last one was Ghost.
Oh,
Why
the worst
don't
one.
they just let them do this? Like
the worst one.
When has any regulators ever really come in the history of gaming and tried to cockblock? Like, just let them fucking do it. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I just want them to get this done and like just stop talking about it. Asa, I know you hate this topic. I do too. We could get right into VR, or you could say a comment on the Nintendo Microsoft deal if you want.
Real quick on that, I guess with Nintendo, there's 3 concerns that the regulators in Europe raised. One of them was COD on consoles, and bringing it to Nintendo addresses that. The other one was COD on cloud services, bringing it to Nvidia addresses that. And the third one was COD on multi-game subscription services. And I don't think they've done anything that really addresses that because that's not what Nvidia is.
Here's my question. The game isn't even exclusive. It's still going to be on PC, and PC is Steam is the largest user base install base in gaming. So what the fuck is the complaint? It's going to be on Steam. It's going to be on Battle.net.
Mm-hmm.
Both those platforms together are bigger than PlayStation in general.
Yep.
And then
it's hard for me to see. I've not played Call of Duty since the one that came out with the launch of the Xbox 360. Call of Duty 2 was the last one I played. It's not like a game that I care about at all. So this whole deal going on back and forth is, I wish everyone would stop talking about it. To be honest, not you guys here, it's fine. But like Microsoft being so public with it and just keeping the conversation over social media week in, week out is like,
It's definitely a tiresome conversation. I mean, but it's had the podcast popping for a while now, full year basically. But yeah, it's tiresome. But I will say, like, relevant news obviously matters to be discussed. But I definitely understand everybody being tired of this nonsense. I will say though, as far as Microsoft doing what they did, like I think the other day where they had that 45-minute, speaking at the conference, whatever the meeting. And Brad Smith coming out doing what he did, I thought that was pretty boss. I'll say that. And I agree with Bond and basically, like, let them go ahead and have it at this point because they don't have a real case to block Microsoft. Let's just be real. They don't. And I understand people who are probably against it, but just legally, there's nothing that should prevent this deal from going through. And it's just political posturing at this point. Let's just get it over with. I'm tired of talking about it, too.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Agreed. All right.
See, Smooth could end this all in a second. All he has to do is bet that the thing won't succeed or fail or succeed one way or another. We just be done with this shit, Smooth.
You realize I picked Kansas City to pick the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I know. You're still like 99.9%.
Yeah. All right. PSVR2 came out this week. Right? And let me I guess I could just give my opinions of it real quick. So far I've definitely enjoyed myself with it. I played Pavlov, I've played Horizon. I played something else. I played a little
City Skylines.
No, sir, I will not be playing City Skylines. I played a little bit of Light Brigade, and I'm definitely having fun with it. But like there's a lot that I've learned about VR just with the week I've spent with it. Like VR is one of those things where it's clearly not meant to replace, pancake gaming, as Asa calls it, right? Regular,
Pancake gaming.
Yes, because it's flat screen
So what is
gaming.
VR? BBL gaming?
Oh my God, you could have used a different term. But yeah, it's supposed to be something complementary, right? And some people may not want to buy into something that costs this much when it's meant to be complementary. But if you accept it for what it is, that it's something, yes, that's kind of secondary. It's something that because I feel like it's physically and mentally kind of intensive on you. And of course that varies from gamer to gamer. It's something that I play every other day. For me, it's not something that I want to play. I want to play it every day, but because of like the effects it has on me, I skip a day. Like I've realized I've had to do that, and I can't play it when I'm tired. There's like these stipulations and like these conditions for me personally that I have to play VR in, because I haven't had like any serious motion sickness, right? Which was the reason why I skipped the first PSVR, because I was suffering from that on that one. But yeah, like I realized like I gotta be hydrated. I gotta have a full stomach. I was looking up stuff like tips. Like there's literal websites and articles full of tips of how you should play, VR and the ideal conditions and everything like that. Some people who love VR but who get motion sickness, they have drama. They keep Dramamine nearby in case they need it. For motion sickness. Some of them you wear the motion sickness bracelets. There's a decent amount of preparation, I would say, when it comes to VR. But I think it pays off, and I think it's worth it. I was playing, like I said, Horizon Call of the Mountain. That game is fun. Too much climbing, right? That's the bad thing. That's the biggest complaint about that game is it's too much climbing, but the game is fun. Pavlov, I think with some things in these VR games, it's like I don't know if it's sometimes my inexperience with VR, like sometimes doing the gestures and the game isn't recognizing my gesture. I don't know if it's me doing it wrong or the game is not recognizing it. So there's like that just adjustment period since this is like my first time owning a VR device. I've played different ones, and other stuff like like I said, it's a workout. I was playing Call of the Mountain and I got tired. I told people my arms were burning. Like my arms were literally hurting. Like there's a video I put up and you could literally see me like lay back in my chair after I was done climbing and I had to take a breath. I'm a little bit out of shape, but still. You know what I'm saying? Like the headset will get sweaty, so you gotta, after you play it, so you gotta make sure you clean it. There's a lot of stuff. Like I even read that. Of course, once again, this varies from player to player, but the rule of thumb for VR that I read is you play 30 to 45 minutes and you take a break for like 10 to 15 minutes. And you got to know your limits. Like I think my limit is definitely like maybe an hour I could play the longest, and then I got to take a break. So, but
you know what I've heard VR is like? Y'all ever watch Gundam Wing?
Sure.
When niggas hook themselves up to the Zero system.
Yeah.
You start going crazy if you play VR too much.
Yeah, it's
but I think VR, especially with like PSVR2, it compared to PSVR1, this is like a huge step up in terms of like just the overall setup, the quality, the build quality, and the games and things like that. I think that PlayStation did a great job of PSVR2, and I agree. Like this is definitely like, and I said this before, it's an enthusiast device.
Exactly.
Like it's not something that's meant to be mass adopted. You know, something that's, you know, because if that was the case, it would be competitively priced like that, and it's not. But I think, you know, for me and my experience with PSVR2, I love it, man. You know, I've been playing GT7, Horizon, Pavlo. Me and Barry played that earlier, and I was blown away at how realistic, like the guns and the shooting and all that is. I'm like, yo, this is
the reloading is like
how,
probably
yeah,
the best thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, this is so interactive and it's dope. And like the, you know, moving around and the guns. And one of my favorite ones is actually Star Wars Enhanced Edition. Like, yo, getting that blaster and moving around and shooting around and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, this experience is fire. Like, these are like full game experiences too. This is not like, you know, Iron Man VR where you flying around for 20 minutes on rails and shit. Like, this is like, these are true fleshed out games. And so I think like my experience, yeah, I loved it, man. I think it's a great product. And I think if someone is interested in VR, I do think PSVR2 would be something that I think people would enjoy if they had the interest for it.
Yeah, Asa, give us the good, bad, and ugly, because you know you're you actually prefer VR games over like regular games. Like you play like every day.
It's different. I do play pretty much every day on it, but you say like it doesn't replace Pancake Gaming for you.
Gundam pilots.
Yeah, I'm well good at it. But you know, I like films as well. Like, I'm a gamer, but I still go and watch a film. VR is just like a different medium of entertainment. So they all coexist, and you have your favorites, but it doesn't make the other ones irrelevant. So I'll spend ages playing on VR, but I'll very happily go and play a game, and I'll very happily go and watch a film as well. There's room for all of these things to coexist. PSVR 2. So Persona, you got it, and BG, you got it. Has anybody else on this little panel got it?
No, I think we're in.
Don't think you have you? And you're both coming like as VR goes. So you've got like PSVR 1, but none of you have really done the PC VR side of things, right?
No.
Nah.
That's fair enough. Like so it's different ways of approaching it though. For people that have either never done VR or have come from like PlayStation VR 1 or the Quest or something like that, PSVR 2 is such an impressive step up. Sony have really kept pace with what the industry has been doing and how it has changed over the last 6 years. The first VR headset that I got was the Rift CV1 when they shipped it with an Xbox controller. You didn't have hands in VR, you had an Xbox controller, and they shipped the controllers out like a few months later when they figured it out. PlayStation VR 2 takes everything that the industry has been doing to move forwards and brings it to console, which is massively significant because you play virtual reality on PC, and like the normal PC against console comparison, you can spend as much money as you want on the PC and you can get a better experience out of it if you do. But the console experience is magic for people that just want to get on with it. And PlayStation have got this VR headset that does all of the things that VR needs to do really, really well. And the first time that you put it on your face and you go into like Horizon Forbidden West, or not Forbidden West, sorry, Call of the Mountain, that game is obviously made to showcase what this headset is good at, and it does it so well. They take this, you start off the game with this like bag on your head, and they take it off, and the colors hit you in the face. And in that moment, I was like, this actually looks every bit as good as anything that I've done in VR. And that's Horizon Call of the Mountain, though. When you move on to it, the PlayStation VR 2, it does have some flaws next to like the stuff that you can drop tons of money on. It does have some flaws. The lenses aren't the best that they could be. And you can get better tracking on the PC and things like that. But as a headset that makes these games work, it's phenomenal. And you've both mentioned Pavlov there. Pavlov is such a rough and janky translation to console, because you go into Pavlov's menu and you go into the audio settings, and there's a setting there that says like, do you want to use proper audio? You're going to need 6 CPU cores if you want to use this feature. And it says that on the console, which is like, this is such a rough pour over of what you're doing on the PC. You've just like
it's not optimized.
Done the bare minimum. It's not, but it's brilliant anyway. And like, you pick up a gun, you have these conversations for years where people are arguing about what's better. Do you like to aim with a controller, or do you like a keyboard and mouse? Like, do you like that twitch aiming on the mouse, or is a controller more comfortable? And you play it in VR and it's an entirely different thing. That conversation becomes so irrelevant because it's not. It's pick a gun off your shoulder or your hip and stick the magazine in it, hold it, reload it. Like, you're now just shooting a gun, not using a controller to press some buttons and things. So VR is like a totally different experience. PlayStation have absolutely knocked it out of the park, despite the fact that there are better alternatives available if you're willing to spend 3 times as much.
Yeah.
And how does it compare to the Index?
So the Index is fairly old now. It's still, in some ways, it's still like a golden standard on PC. The Index has like perfect tracking. You can hold your hands, you can scratch your ass, and it knows exactly what you're doing because it's got these stations on the ceiling and whatever. But it's not particularly high resolution, and the lenses aren't brilliant. So in some ways, like the visual quality that you get out of a PlayStation VR2 is far better than what you'll get on the Index.
Let me ask you about
far better in some ways.
This sweet spot thing, because that was an issue I ran into earlier when I first put the headset on. I was like, oh, it's a little blurry, right? And there's this very, like, I feel like it's a small window of a sweet spot that you have to get the headset there, and then everything looks perfect. Is that like normal in VR headsets? Like this small little sweet spot to get everything visually looking right?
Yeah. So for about 5 years, that was normal. And if you go to the like real new cutting edge ones, there are some examples that are better, that don't have that problem anymore. So it's a problem that's been solved. Like kind of ironically, they call them pancake lenses. But if you get a Quest Pro, which is like $1,500, or you get I think it's a Pico 4, is a lot cheaper. But these have pancake lenses, which solve that problem and let you see, you can pretty much look anywhere and not have the problems that you get with the lenses in the PlayStation VR2. So there are headsets that do. It's what I say when I say you can spend like 3 times as much and get a better experience. It is true that you can, but PSVR2 is phenomenal for what it is on a console.
So that like sweet spot issue, because people have been talking about it, and like the people have been making articles and videos just explaining how to fix it. Is that something like they can like maybe adjust to like firmware updates, or is that just like gonna stay how it is?
Physically what the lenses are. They're not gonna. They might be able to like slightly improve some details, but no, you're gonna have those issues with the lenses forever because it's literally how the glass is.
Okay.
I got a question for you all. Like any of the VR, I guess enthusiasts. Yeah. How do you all play that? And I know, like you pointed out, BG, that you have to take the day off or whatever. That makes sense to me. Because I can imagine like being nauseous and all of that, playing it constantly. But it's like, they don't seem like, I don't know. Like,
weird, like I'm not trying to take, like,
yeah.
I want to play when I want to play. I don't like, it's like a game of football. Like,
if you're right, I don't want to have to guess when I can play again. Like if I just turn on my Xbox or my PlayStation 5 or whatever, I can just jump right into a world and keep going.
Right. Do you know what though? There's like 100 million people with a console. Yeah, no, it is like you can get into VR and you put in a load of effort and you're exerting yourself physically to do this, to get this like ultimate experience. But for another group of people, they see you that way. They see picking up a console controller as too much effort. They just want to tap on their phone screen. Like there's levels to this thing, and to how much effort you want to put in, how much money you want to put in, and what you get out of it. And with VR, you have to put a lot into it. You have to sort out the room that you're playing in, potentially. You have to spend a lot of money. You have to stick this thing on your face and cut yourself off from the world. But the return for that is that you are in a different world. You're sitting in a car in Gran Turismo. You're like fighting dragons in whatever game you want to play. You're shooting guns. You're doing things that you cannot replicate on a console or a PC without a VR headset. So it is a massive effort. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, it's like it's not pick up and play. Like, like I said, there's certain things, me personally, that I have to do before I play. Just even getting charging both the controllers. Putting the controllers in near you, and then getting the headset in the sweet spot and everything like that. And just obviously the biggest thing I think you need to actually play these games is room, is space. And some people actually, like that's kind of a luxury. Some people don't have even a big enough living room with open enough space to play, even though you could sit down. They ask you the option if you're sitting down or standing up. And that's one thing I can't do. I tried the standing up thing. I could do it for about 5 minutes. Then I got to sit down. I'm tired, bro. Like that standing up experience is not for me. And like some people use it, play certain games like Beat Saber or I think Synth Rider or other stuff like that to lose weight. I can see how you could lose weight doing this, bro. It's definitely
it's just like a different experience, like experiencing games like that where you're truly in the world. I think traditional gaming is still like my favorite or whatever. It's what I do in a regular, but I think VR is just something where it takes that experience to the next level. Like going to GT7, I played GT7 when it first came out, and coming at it in VR is like playing a whole different game, man. Like it's just an entirely different experience. So I just think that's what it is.
Yeah. And yeah, and I think I have somewhat low, I guess low standards for VR games. Just because I like last gen or whatever, like with those PSVR1 games, they weren't really games. They were like tech demos and experiences, the ones that I tried out and demoed. So when I play some of these games and they have more mechanics than I expected, I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this VR game, to have that, or even have a story. I just expect the bare minimum out of them, and some of them go above and beyond, to actually make it a real full-blown game. And I could see why typically VR games are shorter experiences. I wouldn't want to play anything super long, as I said, in VR. I wouldn't want to play any like super long game, like because like Resident Evil Village is the full VR experience, and that game is like, I think 8 to 10 hours. I wouldn't want to play anything longer than that. That would be definitely too much for me.
But BG, that goes more to my point then. Like the PSVR2 is what, $600 roughly, right?
Yep.
And you all know that you're going to more or less get kind of tech demo-ish kind of games.
Excuse me.
They've evolved, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, like I know they've evolved rather, and I've seen how the Horizon game looks and all that. Although it didn't really wow me because again, I don't care about VR, right? But I respect that you all like it or whatever. Yeah. I'm not trying to shade anybody who likes it. My only thing is, for me, I would have to have something that's much more. For one, I'd have to be able to play it. It'd have to be accessible all the time. I couldn't be getting sick playing the game,
right?
If I play it too much. That's one. For that price. Two, they have to be more than tech demo-ish, or at least the grand majority of titles offered would have to be big time experiences. Not like, oh, I flew with a bird or something. Like, no, stuff like that. Oh, and then I guess like for me, I need something like some next level Ready Player One type ish before I really get into it like that. You know what I mean? But that's just me.
There's tons of games like that on there though. Like right now.
Where I can Ready Player One level? No, I'm talking about real futuristic stuff, bro. Like the stuff they have now is just like, oh, it's cool. Like it's nice, I guess, for a short moment. But even this, like you pointed out, BG even pointed out, like they're really short experiences. They're not even long. Like what, 8 hours at most?
I don't think I would want a long experience in VR, bro.
These are like full games. These aren't the games that's being played aren't like tech demos. These are like full-fledged games with like stories, modes, and multiplayer and all those other things. So that's why I'm I don't know, your statement doesn't make sense to me.
That's what I'm asking, because I don't really play them like that. So I'm asking, like, because most of them are kind of tech demo-ish, like the first PSVR, right?
No,
well, not the ones. No, but yeah, the first. I would say
the games that were named aren't tech demos. These are full-fledged games with a beginning, middle, and end, online, co-op,
story,
cross-play, story, all that type of stuff.
The early VR games were absolutely tech demos.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Online, crossplay. Like Pavlo is a game that you can play. It's crossplay. After the fall, we met a guy that was playing on the Oculus, and there's tons of crossplay with a lot of that stuff.
And that's why like the VR community, I found them to be like extremely blunt and honest. They tell you straight up, like, listen, this isn't for everybody. All right, they really love it. They tell you that you have to really be passionate about it for it to be fully worth it to you. I wouldn't recommend anybody just go out on a whim and because you're slightly interested in VR to buy it. It's not one of those investments you want to make on a whim. I think you have to like kind of know what you're getting. You got to know like these games might work you out. There's some maintenance involved in it, some preparation. You got to know what the games are like. And if that's all acceptable to you and you're fine with it, then I say you jump in. But it's really an enthusiast, experience, as everybody has said. Definitely not for everybody. Yeah.
That makes sense to me as more of an enthusiast thing. And like you said, it's going to be limited. Do you all think, though, with that being the case, that it's going to sell well enough for PlayStation to continue going forward with it for long?
So I think what they need to do, because I think it always comes down to software, right? Regardless of how expensive the hardware is and like the barrier of entry of the experience, I think everything always comes down to the games. So I think what they have the best route, course of action would be to have a lot of these big games have a VR mode in them, right? Because I think those are like a lot of the games that I think people who are not completely into VR get excited about, like Gran Turismo, the Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4. They already confirmed that's going to get a VR mode. There's rumors that this Twisted Metal game that Sony is probably working on is going to have a VR mode. So I think outside of the developers who specifically make games for VR, you need them, but you also need the VR mode from these major games. And yeah, I think that will support it enough. But Asa, what do you think on that? Because people always talk about how the killer app is kind of needed, but I've heard you say there is no killer app. It's kind of like all the games accomplish it together.
Yeah, so the thing's too expensive for a killer app to be a real thing. I had this conversation with Gaz on Go Live, and he was like, "Oh, VR needs a killer app," and then he described Half-Life Alyx about 3 times in a row. I was just telling him, like, there is no such thing. There is not going to be a single app that convinces people to spend this amount of money and get into this ecosystem. But you're absolutely right that for it to have big games, the kind of things that are going to turn people's heads, it does need to be like hybrid games. It needs to be games that Sony and third parties are making for the console that have the full game entirely available in virtual reality as well. And that is viable and practical and something that I really hope we see a lot of. I don't think Sony are going to drop support for this thing anytime soon. It's not an afterthought for them in the slightest. As far as I'm concerned, the PlayStation 5 as a console is actually pretty much designed around being a good VR system. So everything that console does is special, like it's the DualSense features on the controller. These were not made for the DualSense. These were made for virtual reality, and they just used them on the DualSense as well. Like these triggers are a gimmick on the DualSense 5, but you use them in VR where it's trying to replicate what your hands are doing. These make sense now. All this effort that they put into 3D audio, it's really nice on a flat screen game. It's absolutely freaking critical in virtual reality. Like the Tempest audio engine is for virtual reality, and it just happens to work well for pancake games as well. Everything about this console is like they put VR front and center of it, and that's not to say that they're not catering for the normal games, the mainstream games and all the rest of it, but they have taken it so seriously from day one. The reason that USB port is sitting on the front of the console is because they had VR as an intention for this console in the design phase. And I don't think that they're going to drop it anytime soon, even though I don't think it's going to sell so many that it can support like AAA development on its own. Right. But I don't think that Sony are about to drop it. And it's one of those things like, if people are worried about buying a PlayStation VR2 because they're not sure how long Sony are going to support it, I can't tell them they're wrong. Like, it's a legitimate concern. Sony have dropped support for things in the past. Virtual reality is like an unknown. If you want to wait for a year or two, I cannot fault your logic or tell you that you're being silly, because there's every chance that they'll drop it. But I do think they're very, very serious about it.
Yeah. See, that's one thing I learned about like the VR community. Like they really tell you the truth. They don't care about they don't have loyalty to one platform, because VR is everywhere for them. So they don't really care about the platforms. They just care about the experience, and they'll tell you, what's what they like, what they don't like. One thing I realized that another challenge with VR, it's hard to tell when the VR games are good, just from watching somebody else play it or just from watching gameplay. Because I had to ask Asa, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, just from looking at the game, I assumed this wasn't a good VR game. But you told me that's one of the best VR games out there.
It's one of the hardest things about showing people what VR is, because you show people on a screen this is a game, this is a VR game, this is incredible, you should enjoy it, you should get into this world and look around. But you show it to them on a screen, like Gran Turismo 7. If you show someone Gran Turismo 7, a lot of people have told me that this looks incredible. They see all these clips going around Twitter of Gran Turismo 7 and they're like, this looks amazing. It doesn't. It looks like Gran Turismo 7 but with toned down graphics. Which is what it is when you look at it on a flat screen. But it is incredible when you put it on your face. It's a completely different experience. And there's just no way that you can convey what virtual reality is to somebody that's scrolling YouTube or social media or anything like that and trying to experience what these games are on a flat screen. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners just looks like a fairly basic zombie game. And when you play it in virtual reality, you run up to a zombie and you grab their head and you slam a spoon through their skull, and then you try and wedge that spoon out, and it catches. You need to give it a certain amount of force to get it back out of there, and it's an experience that you cannot show in a trailer. And a lot of people criticized Sony for not doing like big state of plays and things like that to show virtual reality, but it simply doesn't look that good when you show it in that format.
Not at all.
Yeah,
like
so
some games,
just like sending people headsets saying, "Please talk about this."
Yeah,
makes a lot more sense.
Some games stand out, like, you know, they're like, "Oh, that still looks good," even though, you know, I'm just watching it off of YouTube. But a lot of them don't look that impressive. You have to like imagine yourself in it, and that's why like VR marketing is damn near impossible, because it's like, bro, like unless they have some prototype headset at home and they can view it through there, like it's meaningless. It's like it's really through like word of mouth, I feel like, you know, that VR grows and stuff like that. That's
yeah,
tough.
You can't sell it because like you got these consoles that are putting out these games and people talk about like getting 4K 60 and stuff like that. For virtual reality, you need to get that resolution, but you need to get 90 frames per second at least, and you need to do that twice. So essentially, when you translate that to a screen and like an advert and a trailer, you're losing a lot of the fidelity that people are used to make it work, but it's not what you're seeing when you've got the headset on your face. So
yeah. What else is there that we haven't mentioned about it? Because even though, right, I thought about this, I'm vehemently like against handhelds. I've always said I don't want PlayStation to ever make another handheld, right? And people always bring up the comparison between, well, they can make a VR device that, you know, is obviously going to sell, because they're different markets, so you can't compare them, right? A VR device selling 10 million could be a success, but a handheld selling 30 million could be a complete failure, because they're two different markets. But I can understand like they're what they're saying. I can understand it, like, okay, if y'all could take a chance on VR, then I understand people saying, okay, you could take a chance on handheld, getting back into handheld, even though I disagree with them, especially with the Steam Deck out here and whatever the Nintendo makes would completely stomp it out. I get their reasoning, but I still don't want Sony to actually do it. Persona, you still waiting out for want a handheld? Like, would you want that actually from PlayStation? No, Persona, not there.
Tuned out of the VR.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
Would you all prefer having, if you had to make a choice, VR or another handheld from
Another
Sony?
handheld.
That's what I thought too. What about you, BG?
See, my thing is like, okay, I was thinking like, is PlayStation making VR because it's right for the time? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think making a VR device makes more sense right now based on the timing. But I don't know if like in the future, even if this device is very successful, I don't know if it makes sense for them to make another one after this, even if it's successful. If the timing and the market doesn't make sense for it. So I think it's tough, because I don't give a damn about handheld, and I don't care what that handheld does. I would never buy it. I'm more likely to buy another VR device, but I can see, you know, why people would definitely want another handheld instead. So that's just me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely.
If there's no other thoughts on VR, we can move on.
Did you guys cover anything about the recent showcase?
No, I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
Yeah, going to get into that. But yeah, PSVR, very impressive. A lot of games, a lot of launch games, and ones that are pretty damn good, from what I played. So, you know, do your research. Don't just buy one because you're slightly interested. You know, do the research and all that good stuff. And
Buy 6.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. Should we get into the? Let me see. Should I get into state of play show? That was honestly pretty bad. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. All right. PlayStation State of Play. There was one this week. They told us we were gonna get indie games, some VR games, and some third-party games. So still nothing for first party. We still don't have like a PlayStation experience or nothing like that, where they show off their biggest first party games. I think somebody said the last time we had, it's been a year and like 6 months since we had a major PlayStation show. So shout out to Sony for absolutely nothing. Appreciate that.
Wait, has it been that long?
Yeah, I saw somebody say it's been a year and 6 months. So it's a long ass time for us to be waiting.
I take it you didn't like the show.
Oh no, it sucked. There might have been like 2 or 3 games that I was like, okay, that looks cool and everything like that. But yeah, we need a first party show. And there's rumors, and I hate those rumors. Oh no, it's coming. Like, okay, all right, bro, all right, sure it is. I mean, granted, they were right about this show. There were rumors about this state of play, so that was true. But still. We've been waiting.
PlayStation insiders.
Yeah, they're never right. All right, so all right, so the state of play. We might as well talk about this Suicide Squad first. So Suicide Squad, right? They talked about there was going to be like 15 minutes of Suicide Squad gameplay. It's going to be extended gameplay, and it was going to take up a bulk of the show. And I was like, that's probably going to be the biggest thing that we see. And I was like, but after I seen it, I was like, I thought like Rocksteady was doing PlayStation a favor by, showing this gameplay at this state of play. But I was like, no, PlayStation doing them a favor because this looked like dog shit. This looked bad. It looked very arcadey. It looked like Saints Row combined with Crackdown.
Oh shit!
I was like, this. I was like, this what they've been working on for 8 years. This is it. This looked like y'all been struggling to figure out what y'all wanted this game to be, and what was like. This is Rocksteady, and this is supposed to be happening in the same universe as the Arkham of the Arkham games. It don't even look like it's in the same universe.
Well, if this game flops, you already know what their new nickname gonna be.
What you gonna flip it to?
You already know.
Oh no, never mind. I just did it.
What?
Yeah, never mind.
I just thought in the chat.
Yeah, I just thought of it. It's too easy. It's a layup. Don't do it, Bond. Don't do it, Bond. But yeah, it was bad, bro. It looks like they're falling under the whole generic arcade, just generic looking bullshit. It looks bad, bro. What did y'all think?
Well, I guess I'll go first as the resident X bot, and I'm going to try to be as nice as I can. I know they're going to sacrifice me in these chats if I say something too much. Oh, here's a shield, but I'm just going to be real with you. I don't hate on games, right? This is something I just don't practice to do. And so if I say this is how I felt, this is how I felt. Most of the things that were shown were third party anyway, so it wouldn't make any sense for me to just hate on the games. BG, I felt exactly as you felt with this game, with Rocksteady, with Suicide Squad. I was surprised about how let down I was by it, actually, because Rocksteady to me is one of the best developers out there. So to see them put something out here that clashed with everything else they've done, as far as, like you said, the world, it was way more colorful, way more happy, I guess. And I get it, it's not Batman, but it just kind of clashed. And then all of them just running around shooting and jumping around. It felt like, honestly, a much better, prettier Crackdown. It really did. I don't know. And having to hit these little purple spots and stuff, and I get Brainiac, I know he's behind it, whatever. All of it just felt kind of, I don't know, uninspired to me. And it just felt uninspired. It didn't. to me. It seemed like something like the kids nowadays would be playing, just like a Fortnite or something. I don't know. It just felt Fortnite-ish and Crackdown-ish to me. That's the best way I can put it. But I will say a lot of games like this, and in games in general, you do have to get your hands on with it. And I will give that leeway to the VR, by the way. It's something I would have to probably do before I say what I'm saying, to be fair to those who like VR. But I'm going to say, give them a little lifeline and say, it might not look like it's going to be much, but we felt that way with Guardians of the Galaxy, for instance.
We did.
Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I was like, I wrote it off. But when I actually played it, I'm like, oh, this shit is good. Like quality good, like way better than I thought. So, and Rocksteady is a great developer. I say they've earned enough to give them leeway to not judge it just yet. That's what I will say. But as far as the games shown, not much else did it for me outside of Street Fighter 6, which looks really good, but I thought it looked kind of slow, if that makes any sense. I feel like Capcom is known for that, by the way, where they'll have a Street Fighter edition where it's the basic speed, and then they'll have all of a sudden the remix or the Super Street Fighter, you know what I mean, or Alpha or something. So I feel like they're going to give us that. It looks really dope. I love how Cammy looks. I love Zangief. All of it looks really good. And Resident Evil 4. Yeah. And Resident Evil 4 I thought looked pretty good. Although to me, and I think I'm in the minority, but I thought it looked less impressive visually than Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. But I think maybe
I can understand why you say that.
Yeah, I think maybe it was because like seeing the giants and the gigants, whatever they call them, maybe it kind of threw me out of the more realistic feel, like the part 2 and 3 had overall visually. I don't know, but it didn't. I thought those two games looked really, really good. It was that game I believe called, is it Chia with a T at the beginning of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Chia now.
Chia. Yeah, that right there looks pretty dope to me. I thought that it kind of gave me a bit of the Zelda Wind Waker vibes. Did anybody else get that a little bit?
Seems
Just
inspired.
because of the sailing. Yeah.
Why are we? Can we get a game that isn't inspired compared to Zelda?
Hey, you mean listen? Zelda's one of the foundation of gaming, so got to be inspired by it. Same with Mario and so many others. But no, that looks pretty good to me. And that one game, it looked somewhat like Darksiders a bit. I can't remember the name of it, but you showed the gameplay of it, I think, already though. That was like,
I don't know. We got some other interesting names for Rocksteady. We got Flopsteady.
Is anything better than the one that you were going to come up with? Because I know what you were going to do.
They got, instead of the Suicide Squad, they got the Dick Riders.
Sorry about that, man.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
One thing I will say too, fellas, and I'm not sure how y'all feel about this, but you got the Suicide Squad, rather, going against the Justice League. Wouldn't it have made more sense to go with the Justice League? Like, would you have rather played with them?
You always have to play as the underdog in the game.
I get it, but like, I would have liked Rocksteady to try to curb that expectation and kind of give us something different. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you play as this Justice League and not are super immensely overpowered.
But, I get it.
But the Suicide Squad, is always.
Superman, I'm not afraid of beating up Captain Boomerang if I'm Superman.
Yeah, but the team of the Suicide Squad, that's what they're known for, is doing these impossible tasks. So them trying to kill the Justice League is on par with comics and things that they've done. So this is accurate. Like, seeing something like this play out. I just think with Suicide Squad, it's because it's Rocksteady, and I got Rocksteady created the Arkham franchise, and I got a lot of love for Rocksteady. I got a lot of faith with that, but also the gameplay. I thought the gameplay for this game looked great. And I'm someone that I love Destiny and Avengers and all those types of games. So I'm definitely gonna give a game a chance. But it's what I've said before about these live service games where developers want to take on these types of challenges, but aren't properly prepared. Like the content day one is lacking, the roadmap is non-existent. The
base game
loop isn't there. Yeah, like a lot of that stuff is missing, and it's like, if you want to attempt something like this, fine, but be prepared. I feel like this is half attempt of like, let's just see how much money we could get out of people.
Yeah, because people keep blaming, and I still stand on this. I will forever, and I will be proven right in the end. Right? People keep blaming games as a service itself as to why these games are bad. And I tell you, no, it's the people doing it aren't doing it right. Because not anybody should or can make a games as a service game. You got to do it right, and you got to have a lot of resources. Got to have a lot of people ready to make, post content after it drops. You got to have a strong base game, because a lot of them think, okay, we're gonna have an empty skeleton of a game to start out with, and then add a shit ton. No, that's bad. Have a strong launch so nobody can complain, and it could keep them satisfied, and it gives you some time to actually put out content. You can't be dry at the beginning. That's not gonna fly no more.
It's what happened with Halo.
How many games
Halo's
are
a prime
flop
example.
until BG gets it?
No.
So Sony does it.
This is the reason why like the whole gaming cycle, the game development cycle is just too long, because I want to know, when did the game development cycle, when they decide like, hey, this is going to be a games as a service, because they probably started where that thing was just like revving up, and by the time it gets here, it's just like, damn, this is bad timing. I feel like if they started
they said 8 years.
That's crazy. So 8 years ago was what, 15?
Yeah,
That's
I think
It's crazy. I think it's crazy to think that this started on last gen is now being a next gen only title. I think that's something that I'm kind of looking at, like, that might be something where we may see remnants of last gen development in this game, kind of like what Jeff Ross and the Sony Ben team were talking about when it came to Days Gone. That was something that was started in PS3 era and then carried over into next generation. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. But I think the gameplay looks fun. Like, the characters look fun, they look dope. But again, we need to get our hands on the game.
Yeah, I think you got to get your hands on it. I just didn't think it was fun though.
That sounds about right for their nickname. Get your hands on it.
Oh my God, you insane, but I think, because there's nothing in this when you look at it, right? Just basic eye test. Nothing says this should have took 8 years. Clearly, there was some trouble, I think, in figuring out, okay, exactly how do we want this game to play. And also, I think, seeing other games around it, they had to kind of take some signs from those, because they didn't want to end up like all these other games, even though they seem to be going down that right. And I keep telling people, stop looking like Fortnite, even relatively, is bad now. That's bad. That's something that works against you. That's a negative. You want your game to look visually, like UI, menu, you want to look nothing like Fortnite, because that's a stain. People are gonna look at it like, oh, it looks like they Fortniteified our game, and nobody wants that. You can take cues. No, I just made it up. You could take cues from Fortnite's economy and how they drop content, but your game doesn't have to look like Fortnite to do that, and that's why I think that's a major problem.
I agree 100%. To me, it just looked like I said, a mash of Fortnite and Crackdown, and that did not appeal to me. And especially like Kid Smooth pointed out, 8 years of that to get to this didn't seem like it needed that much time to get to this. And if that's
I don't think this is me probably just playing devil's advocate, but I don't think that, even though it's been 8 years, I think a good maybe 2 years or more was them planning it out, per se. But even still, I do think that for them to take this long to make a game, and what they arrived at was a games as a service, I could see how that could be a letdown, especially coming from the likes of an Arkham series, which is highly regarded within the gaming community. But I think it's still something where it's a wait and see, play it, and hopefully they put out a demo or something like that. I'm there day one. I like these types of games, so I guess for me they already sold me.
When's this game coming out?
May 26th.
May 26th. Yeah.
Anybody want to put something down?
I'm good.
I definitely think a lot of the community, especially based off the public reception, I think a lot of people in this community, or just in general, it's definitely going to most likely be a game that kind of just gets forgotten, especially since it's releasing a week and a half after Tears of the Kingdom, and then a week before Street Fighter 6, and then Final Fantasy 16. This is definitely going to be a game that's going to definitely, I think, be forgotten by.
If this game flops, this is the end of DC games.
No, they still got Wonder Woman coming out, made by Monolith.
Yeah, Monolith saw.
Who cares about a Wonder Woman video game?
That might be the best one.
The Wonder Woman game is going to have the Wonder Woman
Nemesis?
game is being made by the same people that made the Shadow of Mordor games, and so it's going to have that Nemesis system, and the Nemesis system is like one of the best things to come to the gaming industry. Like that Nemesis system is incredible. How they built that.
So here's
I would
my
love to
issue.
see that.
If we're gonna make a Wonder Woman game, why the fuck didn't we just make a Superman game?
That's why I go back.
It's a case by case basis.
Valid
It is
point.
a case by case, but that's one point where I said, wouldn't you all have preferred them just to give you the Justice League? Now they don't have to go against Suicide Squad. That's not what I was saying before. I was saying put them against Justice League tier enemies and villains that they go against. Wouldn't you have preferred that versus getting the Suicide Squad to play as? I would have.
All I'm saying is, after Gotham Flop'em Nights, if this game flops too, nobody's got any confidence in DC games and properties and video games.
I think they need to stay away from these squad games, these crew games where it's like these.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be, it seems to create like or accommodate a very generic experience when you have to create 4 or more different play styles. That seems to be really hard, and to make the game feel unique, right? I think they need to pick a single character and surround the game for the story around them, the gameplay around them, and then the game turns out better. But the crew and the squad, dude, y'all got to stop this. It's not working out.
This is the result. You know what this is the result of? This was because of the height of the Marvel Avengers universe, the anticipation that the Avengers games was going to be a success, and it turned out not to be. But all those games, like the Gotham Knights, the Suicide Squad, and all that stuff, all deep in development, because it was like, all right, we have to have a direct competitor to all that stuff. But the problem was the only success of these hero games was Spider-Man. People thought that Spider-Man success was going to bleed over into the Avengers and of course Batman. But the thing is, Batman has been away for a while.
I disagree with that. I think what we're seeing from the industry, especially from Western developers, is you got a lot of publishers that are only looking at what is monetizable and not necessarily what is good. So I think what you're seeing is developers trying to create something, because you got people saying multiplayer, this, playing with friends, that's what people care about. They don't care about story, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then you see the success of something like Fortnite and all those types of games. And I think you've got developers trying to build their own at the request of publishers, because they want their own monetizable world where they can just keep building upon it, however little, however big, and just keep making money. So you've got developers trying to create that, and this is where we're at.
The only problem with it is, like, even though I'm pro, games as a service, where it belongs and where it makes sense and where it should be, a lot of their efforts to create this long-term game to make money from and to support ends up having the counter result that they wanted it to. And then the games that are not doing it, like, bro, we got Elden Ring selling 20 million in 1 year, Hogwarts selling 12 million in 2 weeks, God of War selling, what is it? I've already forgot.
11 million.
11 million in 2 months. So the games that are not trying to do it are the ones achieving what you are trying to do. So you should, all I'm saying is you should know your place of knowing, okay, this is, and then on top of it, not that it bothers me, they confirmed Suicide Squad is going to be requiring an online connection and some other. So you're hitting like the trifecta of shit gamers hate. Like the games as a service, the always online. Like I said, I don't think the always online is a problem, but you're hitting like all the things. Like, yeah, let's do everything to make people hate our game on paper. It's like,
but I think with Suicide Squad, because it's the same thing with like Guardians of the Galaxy, right? A lot of people were shitting on Guardians of the Galaxy, and it ended up being like a very high quality, fun, great experience, right? I'm saying with Suicide Squad, let it come out. Let's see how it is, because devs are bad at showing off their games these days anyway.
They are.
Like they got people who suck at the game showing the gameplay off, or it's just like too much information that doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things, or they're not showing the right things because it's like, oh well, why didn't you show me this in the previews? That would have definitely sold me, or definitely would have been a better showing. So I think with Suicide Squad, just wait till it come out, man. I think that's where we're at with it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna say this again. The best way DC could have handled making a game like this is a Green Lantern game. And I say Green Lantern because of this. From a story perspective, it'd be the easiest to craft a story from, because all you have to do is you create your own Green Lantern, something happens, you get to the ring, they take you to Oa. Once you hit Oa, that's your create a character. It has the most ability to give every player the most customizable moves. What kind of lantern do you want to be? What kind of construct?
It almost sounds like Harry Potter.
They released a game like that during the PS3 generation, not Rocksteady, but like DC, which was DC Universe Online, where you can have Superman powers, Green Lantern, Speedster, and all that stuff. They built that, and it was a very popular game.
I'm talking about even from a single player game if you want to do that. And also, it would be the easiest one to monetize or create additional content, because Green Lanterns can go anywhere. You can make planets, you can make cities, you can make space stations, you can make a level on the sun, you can do anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if you really wanted to make a games as a service game, or hell, even a superhero game, Green Lantern will be the best property in my opinion.
I think that's a great point you made, man. But I stick by, if they would have just, because you know about the rumored Superman game that was canceled. That's probably what took so long, by the way. Smooth, like more of that was probably because they were on a different game. It's the same thing we hear with Halo and their development, because they were trying to make a different engine. They were going to use Unreal Engine 5. Then they were going to be a hero shooter. All these different things that changed until we got the final product. Now, I still love Halo Infinite, but it suffered because of what you pointed out, BG, in that it didn't have any real substance of content after launch. At launch, it was good, but after the fact, it didn't have anything to support it. Now, they're going to have to make sure, Rocksteady, that they don't fall into that trap, and that's why I don't care for games as a service typically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think what's really going to benefit the success of this game, they said that they're going to have other characters from the Suicide Squad that'll be playable as well. So hopefully they bring in like Katana, El Diablo, and all that stuff. But it's the support after the game releases what's going to be really important. Because even games like Outriders, I love that game. I thought it was great. That support after the fact was severely lacking. So are you going to be able to keep up with the hype, with the support?
Yeah.
That's what Rocksteady's biggest challenge is with this.
Yeah. Asa, care about Suicide Squad at all?
A little bit. I actually thought the gameplay looked pretty good. It's a big departure from what they've done before. It's like Rocksteady kind of pioneered the way that every brawler is these days. So for them to move away from it is kind of a big deal. The moment to moment look really good. I'm not a big fan of live service games at the moment. Not the fact that they offer content over time, but the fact that every single one of them wants to monopolize your time, and I just haven't got space for a lot of games to take all of my time, so I'm a bit worried about it in that sense. I don't like to see the battle pass and the store and all of that stuff. I'd much rather it was a one and done Suicide Squad game, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, people appreciate the one and dones. People like that. Like it feels good for
not Xbox guys.
It feels good.
It's a problem, but I want one and done.
Yeah, like that. Sometimes it's nice to know that there's an ending and that's it. Like to me, that's satisfying. That's why I don't be understanding the knock. Like it's a bad thing that a game is one and done. Like, listen, I'm sorry. It feels good to platinum something like Dead Space and never think about it again. It's out the way. Move on to the next thing. So it's not everything you want to stay with or you want to stay for a long time. So, they don't be getting.
I think that process of thinking is more niche these days. That's more our generation and how we grew up. Got a lot of new age, more casual that would like something like that. That's something that's live service, games as a service and stuff like that. And I think for a lot of developers now, that's what they're looking at is the casual and not necessarily the hardcore.
Yeah. Oh, and I will say I did say, like, when the leak came from Suicide Squad, the image, with the battle pass, I said gamers were overreacting, right? Like, and I do still think they overreacted from an image. I still needed to see gameplay to, like, justify that type of reaction. Because once again, I just don't agree that, like, seeing a battle pass automatically makes something bad, So I still stand on, gamers can be dramatic. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the fact that this game this is our first time seeing like real footage of like dedicated gameplay 3 months away from its release. I already knew it's a bad sign, and even more so because during the show they had Dev Diary. Y'all see the cameo appearance of Megamind?
Oh, leave that man alone. No bullying.
Megamind.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see it.
I didn't know who
I
he
sent
was,
it to
and
Bond.
now I know who you're talking about.
I sent it to Bond.
That nigga went to Smooth's barber.
No bald shaming.
Bro, I just got a haircut and my shit looking right, man. It's looking real nice. Looking real nice.
Sounds like you have some good luck. You should be making some bets now.
You know what? And never mind, but an irregular did it.
Let's move on to the other games. We saw Resident Evil 4. We've been seeing a lot of trailers of that. That looks good. It's gonna have the Mercenaries mode is coming back. Got to see some gameplay bits. We saw Krauser, Leon, using the knife to deflect, attacks and stuff. Typical ridiculous shit that they make Leon a literal like god in Resident Evil. The shit he does
it's getting crazy now. Punching rocks, deflecting chainsaws, like
with a
Resident
knife,
Evil has definitely jumped the shark now.
You did the animated movies are so insanely stupid. I love them.
God.
Like you got the scene where Chris and the dude are having
are like, oh no, when they're running around each other like shooting.
Yeah, they're shooting bullets at. They're literally maybe a foot away from each other shooting. Nobody's getting hit, and it's just like it's karate, and they have an actual name for it. It's like gun kata or something like that. Something stupid like that John Wick stuff where he like fights with his guns up. It's so ridiculous, bro. But I love it. I can't even.
What's sad about those Resident Evil? Like they literally move more. They're literally more Spartan than the Master Chief TV show. I'm dead ass. Like Chris and Leon be doing more crazy shit than the Spartans would. Like you would think they're super soldiers.
When Chris punched that damn boulder into the lava, I was like, is this dude human anymore? Or I'll never forget that one.
Yeah. So Resident Evil 4.
The gun kata is hilarious.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 looks good. Bungie reveals Destiny 2 Lightfall launch. Persona, I know you play Destiny. Any thoughts on this Lightfall DLC?
Incredible. Can't wait. And I'm on that heavy next week.
Okay. As y'all know, I hate Destiny. Can't stand it. So,
damn.
Yeah. Kind of can't wait. Either. Yeah. Kind of can't wait till support for it ends. I'm gonna be real with you. Kind of can't wait for that. Because it ain't doing nothing for me. So Capcom got 3 new fighters. We saw Zangief. Do y'all say Zangief or Zangief?
Zangief.
It's Zangief. That's how you pronounce it.
Yep.
Because I just have the compulsion to say Jeef.
Do you say GIF or GIF?
I say GIF.
Okay.
Yeah, it's GIF.
But anyway,
look at that GIF. They uploaded GIF.
I get what you're saying. I don't know. That's just my compulsion to say Zangief. Lily, who's a like Aztec or Mexican new character, right? It's the first time appearance in Street Fighter. And Cammy returned also, had the internet acting all horny and freaky.
Oh Lord.
I had y'all acting different on the internet.
So acting like themselves. They always act like that. I was going to say though, Cammy, one thing I like about our Japanese developers, man, they don't kowtow to like what we do here in America. Their female characters stay sexy and designed that way. They don't like, put on tons of armor and make them look homely. No, you're going to get cheeks, like the Stellar Blade, for instance. Mm-hmm. They give you that. American developers, we have to make sure, you don't be sexist and all that. Japanese developers, like, more.
Right.
That's one thing I noticed. So I appreciate that.
especially now that she's wearing pants now, it feels like they really ramped it up even more, especially when she does that pose where her ass is sticking out and her hands over her head and shit. Like, damn. Y'all know that they know what they're doing.
She's about to make us act up.
It's on purpose. Yeah. There were 5 new VR game reveals: Journey to the Foundation, Before Your Eyes, Synapse, Green Hell VR, the Foglands VR. Yeah, I think that was it. Oh yeah. So Asa, any one of these like stand out to you that caught your eye?
They have the same problem where they're trying to show these on a like a 2D screen. End Dreams are a really good VR studio, so Synapse will probably turn out really good. There were a couple of others there that are from studios that have done quite a bit in VR that will probably turn up better than they looked in those trailers, but they didn't come across that well at State of Play.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Chia, we mentioned that. Umbra had mentioned Chia. We saw that at another show. So it's finally
it was the PlayStation show. It was the PlayStation showcase that had Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine show.
So,
yeah, and PlayStation themselves have been promoting it the most every time they do an event.
So it has a release date March 21st, and it's in 2 of the PlayStation Plus subscription tiers. So you could play it that way or just buy it a la carte. There's that goodbye Volcano High game that I hate. This game looks so weird to me because this looks like a game furries are gonna love. Am I off with that?
Because this game was shown off like at the first PS5 event before it even came out, but we've never heard about it until like now. So now it's finally coming out. Yeah, it's more so anthropomorphic. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, anthropomorphic.
Visual novel-esque type of game. But I know a lot of people in this community definitely ain't touching this shit. But I've seen some rhythm game elements, and BG, I think you might want to check this out.
No, right? I'm not buying that game. This looks very weird. This is what, first of all, I can see PC dudes buying it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can see dudes with anime avatars on Twitter doing certain disgusting things, with these characters.
Definitely.
I ain't no furry or none of that bullshit, but it definitely caught my interest. I'm definitely gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know what type of game it aims to be, but I do play a wide, range of games, but it didn't really wow me yet. I don't know. It looked like it could be fun. If they go to Life is Strange route or something with it, because I have a sneaking suspicion, especially with the way if you look at the design of the name of it, it has the meteor coming down through the name. So I'm expecting the end to be something sad. Of course, the dinosaurs being wiped out, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, since some of them are leaving like the high school, so they're making a big deal. Oh, we gotta do this before school's over, I guess. So I think that's the metric of the game.
Yeah.
For its narrative.
Yeah. So let's take a second to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. So Baldur's Gate, what's funny about it, I care so little about Baldur's Gate. I didn't know they showed Baldur's Gate at the show until after the show ended. Like, I went to the list of all the games shown, and it said Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, I don't remember seeing that game there at all. Like, I probably didn't know it was Baldur's Gate, but either way, I don't care. And console dudes suddenly caring about Baldur's Gate was very, like, shocked, like, pretending to care about Baldur's Gate, because Baldur's Gate has historically been primarily a PC game, right? There's Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance that was like on PS2 or something like that, but primarily it's a PC game. You never really hear console dudes talk about Baldur's Gate. It's coming out August 31st, and there was some like little controversy about it because of what the developer said about it on Xbox, and a bunch of articles took his quote and derived at their own, I guess, assumptions from it. So he had to also go on Twitter, start correcting people. But I'm gonna read exactly what the studio said, and y'all can let me know what y'all think. So they said, Xbox players, he posted this on Reddit. He said, Xbox players, we've seen your questions about if and when you could expect Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox. We've had an Xbox version of Baldur's Gate 3 in the works for some time, but we have run into some technical issues, particularly with split-screen co-op. We are still working on an Xbox version of BG3, but we're not yet confident enough to announce it. we don't like announcing anything until we're ready because we don't want to get people's hopes up until we can deliver. There's no platform exclusivity preventing us from releasing BG3 on Xbox day and date. Should that be a technical possibility? If and when we do announce further platforms, we want to make sure each version lives up to our standards and expectations. So people took this and jumped to what they derived from it was, okay, the Xbox version is delayed due to technical difficulties. The Xbox Series S is the problem. So people took different things from it. And I don't necessarily blame them because that's kind of what it sounds like. Like it sounds like the because it has a release date, if I'm not mistaken, right? I said it's August 31st.
August 31st.
So if you're saying that there's not an Xbox version ready, but this game has a release date, I don't blame anybody for making the assumption, okay, the Xbox version is delayed. That's kind of what it sounds like. He didn't say anything about the Xbox Series S, but people make that assumption. That's where the technical difficulties is coming from. So what do y'all take from his what he said?
BG. Let's keep BG, let's keep it a stack here, brother. Let's cut the bullshit. You feel me?
Man.
Let's cut the bullshit. You feel me? Listen, man. What the fuck else would it be? You understand? Of course, he's not going to outright say what it is because the man is doing business. He beating around the bush. But at the end of the day, nobody on the PlayStation or Xbox side gave a fuck about this game until it happened. And for the Xbox side, they only cared because they thought and assumed that it had exclusivity deal and would further push their argument. Microsoft, TC, look, you see, they're doing more exclusive deal. Like, no one gives a fuck about this, man. Like, they really don't, man. Like, that's what it is. So that's why this whole discourse was happening, because Xbox dudes thought that this would be exclusive. And so they were mad and rallying the pitchforks for that. But when the developer came out and said what he said, I mean, let's go back to Halo Infinite, because there's split screen in this game for Baldur's Gate 3. And we know that Halo Infinite had to ditch split screen because limitations. What limitations do we think that is? If the Series X eats monsters for breakfast, what could it be?
Series S, I guess.
Respectfully.
So you do think it's the S that's the problem. Go ahead, Umbra.
I'll just clarify for Halo's situation. I think it was much more than just being a Series S. I don't think that was the issue. The issue was them being on so many different SKUs and being cross-gen that they couldn't handle it on past-gen systems as well as them not being tethered the way they had to do it.
So what's the issue here then?
They have so many issues with that.
So with this being next-gen only, what do you think is the issue here?
I would probably agree with you. It's probably the S.
Baldur's Gate 3 is coming for the PS4 as well. Like,
no, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not. Is it?
The freaking advertisement has like the PS4. Hold on. Maybe I'm mistaking that with the Alien game. Hold on, let me stop.
I don't know, but I'll just say, like, the thing, like, you are right. Like, a lot of Xbox fans and PlayStation fans, nobody cared about this game. BG, like you, when I saw it, I was like, I didn't give a damn. It did nothing for me. Like VR, I saw that, I was like, okay, next.
Have none of you played the Divinity Original Sin games?
I got buddies who have. I have tried, and I was like, nope. But it's not my type of game, right? But like BG, good. I was kind of like, it didn't really do anything for me. But the reason why people blew up Persona is correct. It was because it seemed like it was going to be exclusive. And nobody, I don't care what side you're on, both sides do it. If you're a PlayStation gamer or if you're an Xbox gamer, if something that's coming out that's third party is suddenly skipping your platform, you're going to be like, hey, why is that happening? And then Larian, by the way, made a comment before saying they would not play the exclusivity game. So this seemed to go into the face of that, like, so you backed up because of money and you changed up on them. So that was part of why they got so much heat. For me, it was just like they should have just been clear from the start and just said, hey, this is what it is. What they eventually came out and said, they should have just said after their presser of launching, saying where it's going to launch at. To me, I think that would have deaded the issue quick.
The fact that people were fear-mongering was ridiculous.
But are we convinced that is because we have heard several developers kind of point to the S being a problem at this point. You know? Are we willing to kind of...
It's possible. Yeah, I wouldn't write it off, man. I don't know enough. I mean, none of us do, but I mean, that's odd that it's just happening to be the case with Xbox with this. The common denominator probably would be the S. But again, I don't know. If they get it to run on the S2, then what can we say? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
How that plays out.
Okay. Well, yeah. The game was talked about more because of things outside of the game than the game itself. Like nobody seems to be like talking about, oh, it's anything actual about the gameplay or Baldur's Gate 3. It was more about, oh, is it exclusive? What's the technical issues? I'm like, y'all are funny.
Yeah.
Outside of that, nobody seemed to talk about the actual game.
Yeah, nobody actually cared.
They don't care. They don't care. That's why, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not like, you know, this is what developers are saying is technical issues. Like no one is making that up. Like this is what they're saying. And you got a lot of, you know, Twitter developers that are making all of these weird thesis statements of, well, you know, it could be because, you know, the power. Like, listen, man. The devs are telling you this. You still won't believe them. They're liars. That's what you're saying. What is it? If it's not that, then what?
I feel you.
What is the common denominator in all of these types of situations? No one wants to admit it, and obviously, a lot of people in the
I
industry.
mean, how many of these issues do we have? I mean, I know split screen was still that important.
Not even just split screen, but the how development is hindered by the certain limitations that the S has. I'm not saying that the S is a terrible console, but you know, I've said this back 2-3 years ago. I think Microsoft was dumb as fuck to put out an S instead of just putting out a Series X without a disc and making it $400 or taking an even bigger hit because, you know, they're $1 trillion corporation. They can eat that. Make it
How many games is the
Make it-
Series
make it
S
350.
really hinders? There's not that many next gen games out. A lot of games that we have today is running on base PS4 and Xbox One.
True.
And Switch. So I mean, I don't understand how much damage or development issues that the Series S could have possibly caused. And Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, I'm sorry, man, but these developers, Letharian, whatever you call them, I don't expect this game to be much of a banger.
Wow.
It doesn't look demanding, I would say. So I don't know if the S is the issue or not, or what exactly about the S is the issue, rather. It just seems like I would say the common denominator would be that. It seems to be the case. But I mean, it's not the X. We know it's not that. So what else could it be? That much I would agree on. I just don't know to what degree is the issue.
Yeah. It's definitely not. I think it'll definitely be start to show the further we get in the generation. Like towards the end of this generation, that's when I don't think the S is future proofed. It's great for like maybe the first 3 years of the gen, but when because everybody makes their best games towards the end of the generation that utilizes everything they have. So that's when it'll really show, I think. So,
yeah.
All right.
We're talk about the real big news this week,
which is
Halo Infinite Season 3.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that. Got like two more games that were shown at this this very mid state of play. So Naruto X, this title is ridiculous. Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections got a new trailer. Yeah. I need somebody to explain, one, how do these Naruto games, fighting games, and I use fighting, very loosely, how do these games keep getting made? Because at this point, at least I feel like 15 of them are out there. It feels like that.
Well, Naruto is a very popular anime. Like it's one of the most popular animes even now.
But who buying the games?
Boruto. A lot of people. A lot of the anime fans. A lot of those anime fighting games like Demon Slayer and Naruto and Boruto and all those types of anime fighting games. They have a really big following in the anime
You and Bari part of it. Y'all part of the issue.
I mean, I'm not buying this. Hell no. But Demon Slayer I thought was a dope game, and then like J-Stars and stuff like that. And I know Bari had bought J-Force, but they're very popular in the anime community.
Because
they've released it so many times, and plus this is from CyberConnect, so I automatically expect it. I guess this is like, because I have no idea what this is. Is this like one of the past 4 games bundled into one with more story content? Is that what I'm hearing?
So this game is a re-release of Naruto game and a Boruto game that they're putting together into one, and they're adding 2 new characters from the Boruto series. I'm not like too big on I'm not like up on all of the naming of the Boruto characters, but it's one of the not the sages, but I forget the name of it, but it's one of like the 2 of the bad guys that they're adding to it.
Yeah, those god level dudes. But because my thing is like, listen, I would love if Naruto,
like Momo Shinji and all of them,
if they got the treatment that Dragon Ball, finally got. There was a lot of Dragon Ball games, and they were better. And like, it's not like the Dragon Ball games before Fighters was like Naruto level. A lot of people like Tenkaichi and what was the other one?
Tenkaichi, Raging Blast, Xenoverse, Burst Limit,
Budokai, all that.
Well, no,
so those
Budokai 3 was the last 2D. No, actually, no, I think Burst Limit was also 2D. But those arena style fighters, like those are very, very popular. Even with the Dragon Ball games, like Xenoverse 2 is very, very, very. Even to this day, it's still getting updated with new characters and all this other stuff. Those games are very popular. And then Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is the RPG arena style game that they put out, that is extremely popular and sold very, very well. So it's a lot of people buying those games.
Yeah, and even Kakarot got like a next gen version of that game, so they're still updating content for that.
Yeah,
and plus, since it's a licensed Bandai Namco game, it's just par for the course at this point.
I just wanted to get a real fight, like a better fighting system, like actually make it like competitive where people could like would play this at Evo or some shit, because we've never seen none of these make it to Evo or anything like that, right? So can y'all like give it to an actual developer that'll do it right? That's all I'm saying. And some game that I don't even remember. What is this new trailer for Digital Extreme and Airship Syndicate's Wayfinder? I don't even remember seeing this shit. It's some RPG. I don't even remember seeing this.
Wayfinder is like an MMORPG, and they announced that there's going to be a open beta for it, or not open, but like a beta test February 28th. It's supposed to be coming out in the summer.
All right, cool. Okay, that's state of the play. Very mid, not very good. Right? I think we all generally agree.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Humanity game?
Oh, that was the VR game. There's a demo for it on PlayStation, by the way. If anybody wants to try it out, but it seemed to be an interesting concept. But I was nothing really that I care about.
Yeah.
Okay. Halo. So Halo Infinite Season 3 Echoes launch trailer came out. I didn't watch it. I have no reason to keep track of Halo, anymore. But any thoughts on this season 3? What are they provide? What are they releasing, and who's still playing Halo?
Nobody. Shit is dead.
I didn't see the trailer, so I'm curious. Does it look promising?
Come on, Smooth. What do you mean you ain't seen the trailer?
I haven't. I forgot about Halo season.
Smooth.
I forgot about the Halo seasons. It's
nah.
I'm just surprised it wasn't delayed.
The best bot cannot be like missing out on Halo trailers.
Well, the thing is, I'm not a season pass gamer, so when it comes, I'm going to play. But the thing is that I'll tell you this: there's nothing I'm actually looking for in season 3. I don't know. There's nothing that I can't be like, oh, I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait for them to show this gun, this map. Because the way that I play Halo Infinite is the way that I played Halo 3, the way that I play Halo 4, and the way I play Halo 5. I just hop into the multiplayer, play for about 2 hours, and I'm out. I'm not playing for the goal, like of, oh, I gotta beat this season pass, I gotta beat this battle pass, and I gotta get this gear, gotta get that gear. I can't play Halo like that. I know that's what it is like now, where they're trying to be, but that's the reason why I'm not into games like Apex and Fortnite. The reason why I play Halo multiplayer is just to pretty much have a few good games, have positive KD, win some matches, get my winnings, and get out of there. And then I'll be back in the next couple of days. But I'm happy that it's coming. The thing is that the thing I want to see about season 3 is I want to see what it does to the player count. Is it going to bring anybody back? You know what I mean? I'm a little bit salty about Halo Infinite because of like the support is exclusively for the multiplayer. What I really want is some sort of like answer to that campaign, some sort of expansion to that campaign, and we're not getting that. So I don't really care about like season 3. I didn't really care about like the winter update. Yeah, it was cool that they added co-op and Forge and stuff, but I don't create maps on Forge. I'll play Forge maps, and I think that's a nice, cheap way to add maps to the game is by letting the community do it. But I'm not exactly sure excited for anything in particular that season 3 is gonna bring. I'm gonna jump in because I know there's gonna be matches going. There's gonna be the player pool is gonna increase a bit for the time being. Hopefully it's good enough to hold some of these players in. But I plan to do what I've done with the other season. Play for about 2 weeks, get through the and then if I happen to get through the battle pass, good. But I've only gotten through one Halo battle pass, and that was the initial one. Everything else I just stopped caring or stopped playing for the battle pass.
Hate to see it. Umbra, you there? Do you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Excited about Halo Season 3 at all?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited, brother. We have some game nights we typically do for Halo. So when this drops in 2 weeks, we're definitely going to be back on it. I'm excited. It looks pretty good. It's not a full fix, but they're getting there. It's going to take some time, unfortunately, which is why I don't care for games as a service typically. And I'm with you on that. Like, they should have been more content rich at launch. But hey, how many times can I keep going back to that well and saying, you should have done this, you should have done that? I'm just, I'm happy that they're addressing it and that they are like really communicative to the community. So that's my biggest thing. It looks good though.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from Halo. What else we got? Oh, Octopath Traveler 2 came out this week, right? Came out 2 days ago.
Oh, did it? Square Enix still putting out games? Okay.
Indeed. No matter how much you hate them, Smooth.
Out games Smooth.
On next, and that's okay.
Yeah, because it's not on your platform, Smooth.
I don't want that dusty ass shit anyway.
Didn't you say Octopath Traveler 1 and got to a boss and got mad that it was too
I played it for a total of 27 minutes. Got me one achievement and I was out of there.
That's why the second game is not on your platform of choice, sir.
Yeah, and you couldn't figure out how to equip weapons and armor.
Yeah.
I put in 250 hours into the first game. And
did you?
Yeah, man. And it came in Game Pass, so I had to give it a try. I'm like, let me try this out. It looks dope. Played it, loved it, and then they talk about part 2, and it's not coming to Xbox. It's like, why? What the hell, Square?
But we know why, because how the first game even came to Xbox in the first place.
I mean, part 1 not even on PlayStation yet.
Yeah, it's weird how they did this. Part 1 is not on PlayStation. Part 2 is now not on Xbox. Stupid.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you.
It's 2 separate stories. So like it's like Final Fantasy, where like every Final Fantasy is its own story. So that's the same thing with Octopath Traveler. So the second game, you don't need to have played the first one to understand the second one.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Especially since Octopath 1 is a very long game.
It is, but it's not even a matter of that to me. I don't care about it not just being disjointed as far as stories and universes or whatever. I care about the sequel, the actual franchise itself returning back to the platform I got it on. I just don't understand why. And Square by the way, was I do, but Square by the way, yeah, I'm not. It's not a factor of me not being able to get it. I just prefer achievements and stuff, right? So, but the thing is like they came out themselves and were like, "Oh, we're proud of the sales. It did well and Game Pass and all of that."
Trophies are like a achievement.
They said all of that. Then all of a sudden, it's like, "Nope, you're not getting part 2." I don't understand.
But do you remember what the sales were like when Octopath came out on the Switch, where it was selling out and Square Enix in Japan had to apologize because it sold out so much because it broke their own anticipation for the game itself. So that's why Nintendo is not publishing Octopath Traveler 2 this time around, and that's why it's on PlayStation.
Ooh.
And that's why I feel like this game is probably would have been more prominent if this was still a Nintendo Switch exclusive, considering the fact they've already done it before, and the fact that, Triangle Strategy, Bravely Default 2, a lot of the Team Asano games have been primarily on Nintendo console, so that's where that user base for those type of games, Square Enix games specifically would do the best at regardless. And plus, we would see a lot more prominence in promotion of marketing. I think was.
So what do y'all think about the game?
The game is still gonna do fine, but whatever.
So what do y'all think about Octopath Traveler 2 though?
It's great, man. I think it's, I've been playing it. I got about like 15 hours in it so far. It's very good, man. It's a great, fun turn-based music, combat. The characters this time around are like more communicating more between one another and whatnot, which I like. And I'm still trying to get everybody. Like I've got like 5 of the 8 people so far and doing through the chapter 1s. But even like the stories of all the characters so far from what I've played, I'm liking their stories a lot, man. They're all really compelling. It's pretty dope. It's a dope game.
Man,
yeah, because
I'm just gonna say it right now.
Oh, here we go.
I'm tired of hearing about people that haven't ever played. I'm not accusing anybody here of not playing it, but I'm tired of hearing people that haven't played Legend of Heroes talk about JRPGs.
Oh Lord,
we need like a badge, like before you start talking about JRPGs. Where are you in the Legend of Heroes series? Because I'm tired of people picking up mid-ass RPGs like Legend of Dragoon, Octotrash Traveler, Octotrash Traveler 2. Like all these games are mid.
What if they don't care about Legend of Heroes?
Then why are they playing JRPGs?
Maybe they think the other ones are better.
That's like saying, why are you playing Madden if you don't care about football?
Yeah, you don't got no other choice.
Exactly my point. It just seems weird. Like I don't know, man. Like I'm very disappointed in the RPG community as of recent. Just need another Dragon Quest game to cleanse the palate, because I feel like whenever a Dragon Quest game comes out, that's when actually JRPGs start hitting. I don't really have a lot of confidence in this Final Fantasy 16 game. I don't have a lot of confidence in Final Fantasy at all.
I actually believe parts like 16 is gonna be dope. But why don't you care for Octopath though, Bond? Like I've heard people say that
the first game was mid, and the second game didn't really change anything from the first game.
Well, like what's mid about it to you exactly? Because I'm not the biggest JRPG
the characters were boring as fuck. They don't interact with each other. There's no overarching villain. There's no like overarching story. It's literally combining 8 people's individual stories into one larger story, which makes it completely disjointed and characters trying to grow together and create relationships together, because it's 8 individualized stories and there's no like central antagonist or bad guy.
But is that a
there's a central antagonist, but that's like the final extra boss you gotta get.
Like he doesn't interact with anybody throughout any of their individual stories. Now we're getting to the end. I don't even remember who the final boss was. The game was very forgettable. Now, does it look good? Yes. Does it play good? Yes. Does it have good music? Yes. But we don't play JRPGs for that stuff. We play for the story and the characters. And then we have Atlas. When is Atlas going to make another good RPG?
But you're not the first person. You're not the first person I heard say that, by the way. Like about
say what
about Octopath, that they didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Like it's not real. Like it's not a good JRPG or whatever. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't play JRPGs enough to say like, oh, this is But I could just say I enjoyed the hell out of the first one. I would say that.
Have you played Dragon Quest XI?
No.
All right.
Damn.
Here's how you.
Oh, wait. Yes, I did. I didn't play much of it though, just a bit.
That's the problem right there. Here's how you determine if a JRPG is good. Is the game better than Dragon Quest XI or worse than Dragon Quest XI, and by how much?
No, I don't think you can make that comparison, because this game in particular,
I'm saying, like Dragon Quest XI is a good barometer for JRPGs this generation. So when seeing if a JRPG is good this generation, is it better than Dragon Quest XI, worse than Dragon Quest XI, and what is the variance between it being how much better or how much worse?
By the way, I'm gonna make sure that because a lot of y'all been slandering, trying to discredit me and slander me because I didn't get that dumbass secret ending in Dragon Quest XI. When the next one come out, watch. I'm gonna make sure I get all the endings, since y'all got this parameter. Oh, you didn't beat the game if you didn't get the second ending. It doesn't count. Oh, shut the hell up.
I mean, you don't have to get the second ending at all if you want to.
No, people telling me I didn't beat the game because I didn't get the second ending.
There's a lot more the secret ending, there's like so much more like story being told and stuff happening and whatnot. So
Yeah,
it
because
is
you
good to
basically
get
got to
the
go back in
secret
time
ending.
and save Veronica from getting clapped.
Literally.
Yep.
Listen. Like I said, the rule is if the credits roll, I beat the game. Sorry to tell you.
So
Yeah.
if you let a cat, what the fuck's his name?
Well, the credit didn't you get
Persona
the
just kill you? It's over.
didn't you get the platinum in Returnal, PG?
No, I don't have the platinum. No.
Did you get the third act ending though? The true ending?
I did, I believe.
The credits roll after Act 2 when you beat Cephas.
Does it?
Yes. And then it starts you from the first biome again, which you have to go through and get all the sunstones in order to get the true ending and finish Act 3. So technically, you do beat games after the credits roll. You do play them again.
Man, listen. Man, fuck them secret endings. I low-key hate games with like a whole bunch of multiple endings anyway. Fuck them
All I'm
shits.
saying is, Octopath Traveler definitely is a fucking. What's a good character?
And what?
I wouldn't even say Octopath is like the Vegeta, the Piccolo, or like the Gohan. That'd be like the Krillin of a Krillin level RPG, like a Choji level RPG.
He said Choji.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
it's a little
but
much.
overall, I think the game.
Things would have ended a lot differently.
Yeah,
Because
I've only put like 10 hours in Octopath Traveler 2. I think it's fine because like for the most part, it's like basically gameplay wise, it's pretty tight for what it is. For the characters themselves, I feel like some of them are better. Like Agnia, the dancer, I really like her a lot more, and the hunter of this game I liked a lot more. And the thing that they changed up, particularly with this game, is like the day and nighttime cycles, where you can change it like any time that you want to, and their path actions of how they interact with NPCs is different to how they engage with them.
Yeah,
to either get
based on, like,
items
day and
or
night
just
and
recruit
stuff
them on
like
your
that.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But
The
so far,
the stories are really like engaging though. Like they're really, really good. Like everyone's individual story so far from what I've got. Like they're really, really, really good. I think my favorite so far is Orchet and Hikari's was really good. His chapter 1 was really, really good so far.
Yeah, I thought Orchet was cool.
Same thing with Torshio, the merchant. His was really good too. That Western had a good like Western vibe to it and whatnot. I like that one too.
I'm about to get to him first. Because I know in this game, you can actually select when you want to go through their actual first chapter of their stories later on after you recruit them. So that was pretty nice. So that way I'm not immediately segmented if I wanted to choose the option to deal with their story like right then and there. Because they have to fight they have to do their whole stories. It pretty much comes after they join your party, before they even join your party, as opposed to the first game where you was in the middle of their own adventure and you went along with them than the first game.
Yeah. Okay.
And Trails of Zero is out, and Trails of Zero is out. Not many people have played that game. Like that's like one of the best JRPGs of all time.
It might be an indication that some people don't care about the trails like that, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they play an Octo Trash instead.
All right, man. Another game that came out this week, Atomic Heart. And I've seen more about I've seen more about these twins damn near, because the internet is obviously always freaking horny. Like that's the highlight of the game. If you type in Atomic Heart Twins, I'm not joking, because I was trying to find a thumbnail, obviously, because thumbnails are a form of clickbait, and I know the internet is horny, so I had to make the twins the thumbnail for this podcast, because listen,
you were actively searching for the Atomic Heart Twins for the thumbnail?
Absolutely. Listen, I know what I'm doing. I know. No, that's what I'm about to bring up. Because
now you know the difference between thick and fat is.
Sir, we're not gonna get into that
right now.
But when you type in Atomic Heart Twins on Twitter, right? You if you were trying to find a thumbnail or something like that, It's NSFW already. The game just came out and they have Atomic Heart porn. What is wrong with you niggas?
What?
People want robusty. Like let them get their robusty. Like,
oh
what's wrong
my
with
god.
What is it with the twins? I'm out the loop because I haven't.
They're just
what is it about the
women
twins?
shaped like they're just robots shaped like women, and the internet is horny. It's pretty yeah. I mean, pretty much the same thing with what they did with Lady Demetresque. They saw Lady Demetresque, and she was like the hottest thing on the internet because dudes is horny. So now the twins from Atomic Heart are the new things to be horny about. So they got porn for it already. The game just came out. People are doing, the especially the people in the anime profile pic community. They've done drawings, these sick hentai drawings of them already. I'm like, yo, y'all work fast.
Oh yeah, because I know people that's very prominent with stuff like Overwatch and just other communities like that. So this is nothing new per se, but because those two are like the only things that I've seen for this game, and I haven't been checking for that game like that.
Yeah, that's all they're talking about. They're talking about the twins more than the games. But so I did buy the game, and I'm be real with you. I probably won't. I played it for like 2 hours. I probably won't get to like actually getting deeper into it, or beating it until like maybe months from now, because Wolong is about to come out, and I'm gonna probably play Wolong, and then I'll probably play Harry Potter before I play this game. Tony has the game. If he listens and wants to come and talk about it, then he can talk about it. But it's a very, first of all, the dialogue is atrocious. This is some of the worst dialogue I've heard in a game ever. And some people say that's because it's a Russian developer, and they they say a lot of stuff got lost in translation, or a lot of stuff translated doesn't sound right. But I'm talking about it's bad. If Forspoken was a problem to you and people made that an issue with Forspoken, and I don't blame you. Like y'all know how I feel about Forspoken. But if that was a problem for you, then this game
dialogue isn't as bad as people were making it out to be on Twitter though.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Either way,
trash.
I've actually played the game.
I played it too.
So
I didn't platinum it, but I played it. I didn't like it at all. But I will say I agree with you, BG. The dialogue in this is pretty bad. But
it's way worse.
If you put it on I've heard if you put it on like Russian or whatever other languages, it's supposedly better. But I've only played like an hour or something myself, and I got right back to wizarding up in Harry Potter and Hogwarts rather. So I don't know.
Yeah, bro. The dude is saying, like, the way he delivers the lines is so it's like a voice actor that they paid $100 and said, here, just do it. Like we need this. Like, they could have hired me and I could have done the same job just as bad. Like, dude is saying lines like damn near like, gee willikers, will you get off my, because he's talking to the the robot that's with him. So he talks to him. He has like
his hand, his arm, like we're smoking like her wristband. And
exactly.
Shit. Right? Same idea.
So that's his companion he's talking to, and he's like, "Will you get off my back, will you?" And it's like these really cringe, just bad dialogue. I'm like, did he really just say that? It's bad, bro. But aside from the really bad dialogue, the game visually is very impressive. Like just the animations and the movement and the visuals and everything like that. That was the most impressive thing about the game that we seen. And a lot of people thought it was too good to be true, but a lot of those animations and visuals are really in the game. That's really authentic stuff. And it's kind of like this BioShock almost like game. This, I guess you can call it a Russian BioShock style game. And I can't, like I said, I can't speak too much about the gameplay because I'm only like 2 hours in.
Why aren't we boycotting this game?
Because we don't really care. Because the Ukrainian government.
So we gonna boycott Harry Potter for allegedly harming and killing people, but we ain't gonna boycott Atomic Heart for literally killing people. Interesting.
I don't think either killed anybody, Bond. But
I'm just making fun of these losers.
But the Ukrainian government has requested a ban of this game, obviously because of the war between Russia and Ukraine. You know what's funny? When we saw Street Fighter and we saw Zangief, I was like, I thought like, are they gonna have a problem with that? I was dead ass. I didn't know. I was like, listen, they might have a problem with Zangief because he's Russian too. They might want him like he might be a sign of evil now. I don't know. But
you know what? I can't blame you either because things have gotten so far out of hand. You might be right. Maybe they were thinking about doing it.
Nah, Zangief is like one of the originals. Like they wasn't getting rid of him.
Yeah, he's been around long.
They did change Zangief from USSR to Russia.
Because the USSR doesn't exist no more, right?
Yeah, I know, but you know, game thing.
Yeah, so yeah, Atomic Heart is at like a 72 on Metacritic, I think. Like I said, I can't speak too much of the gameplay. Like so far, it just seems like a regular first person shooter to me. But like I'm very much at the beginning, so I can't say it stays like that. But it's a very weird game. Power Picks. Some of you might know Power Picks. He's the one that makes the guides, the trophy guides and stuff like that. He said he makes trophy guides on every game, right, without fail, damn near. And he said this game was so bad that he had to cancel his trophy guide on it. He said, like I'm not doing a trophy guide on this. This game is bad. Bro. I've never heard.
You know what Power Picks did do a trophy guide on? Forspoken.
That was so crazy.
That was pretty crazy for him to say that.
Yeah, that's nuts because I've never heard of him canceling a trophy guide for anything ever. And he straight up said this game was such a bad experience. I'm canceling my guide. So I don't know.
I've heard people talk about how they thought the controls and stuff were clunky too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard talk about that. Again, I haven't gotten far enough into it to really judge it, so I can't really say.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, shout out to Beta Test Gaming. As I always say, even though I fully accept that buying games day one is absolutely beta testing, I'm not gonna stop. I'm still gonna buy them day one because they came out on Twitter, the Munfish, the studio, they said, yeah, we're working on a patch to include FOV. I'm like, bruh, y'all working on a patch for FOV for this game on PC, like, and that's not there's been a bunch of games like even last year where they patched an FOV. I'm like, why don't y'all got this there from the jump, bro?
Skip that. Did you see that they have to have a whole like 67 some odd gigabyte update?
Oh yeah, I did.
A few days after, I'm like, we have to download a whole new game because it's like 76 gigabytes for the standard. That's what concerned me. So there was a lot of issues apparently that had to be fixed technically.
Beta Test Gaming, shout out to it, man. Love it.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 12 was confirmed, just in a very unexciting way. It was like just confirmed in an investor call. Somebody was on the phone talking to somebody and just said, that's in the works. It's coming out this year. And very unexcited way to reveal.
I don't think Ed Boon wanted that though. I think that
he didn't.
Just the higher ups kind of just talking business and it just slipped.
Yeah, Ed Boon definitely didn't want that. I'm sure he wanted to, because Mortal Kombat always has like that amazing first trailer that comes out for each game. So that's how they prefer to roll out their games, and I'm sure that's the way he preferred to do it. So, but yeah, at least we know it's coming. And fight the FGC is very excited. Street Fighter 6 coming out this year. Mortal Kombat is gonna come out this year most likely. And there's another game, fight.
Tekken 8 might.
Oh yeah, Tekken 8.
That's not confirmed though. This is coming out in 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's coming out this year.
I don't know. They've been showing a lot.
Looks like it's coming out this year to me, just because of so much they've shown recently. But
if we don't get a date by Evo, then it's not coming out.
Yeah.
Because
he revealed it very, very late in December.
Evo, right?
Yeah. Evo's August.
Yeah.
All right, what else do I got? I mean, there was the DICE Awards. Let me just read out the list. There was the DICE Awards, sir. You don't respect the DICE Awards?
No, I just don't keep up with the DICE Awards because this game community really just pay attention to nothing but the the main one, the Jeff Keighley show.
Because that's for us, right? You know, the Dice Awards honestly isn't for us. That's more developer and technical side of things. It's not, you know, this is not a show for, you know, for us the consumers. An award for us to consume, but it's still worth noting like what won. Okay, outstanding achievement in animation, God of War Ragnarok won that. Art direction, God of War won that. Outstanding character, also God of War won that for Kratos. Original music composition, God of War won that. Audio design, God of War. Best story, God of War. Outstanding technical achievement, Elden Ring. Action game of the year, Vampire Survivors won. Wait, but it won it. It won it over.
Crazy.
It won it over Sifu, Neon White, Grounded, and Bayonetta 3. Y'all gotta relax, bro. Wow. Like, come on,
How
bro.
did that win over Sifu? Sifu was one of like the best action games come out last year. That's crazy.
That's like straight winning game of the year.
Straight's a great game.
But it's like sometimes I think they make decisions like this just to like almost virtue signal. Like, come on, y'all know this game ain't the best action game of the year. Y'all stop this nonsense.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't have given that
over Seafood. That's wild, man.
Or even though I hate Bayonetta,
Bayonetta
it even winning over Bayonetta is still insane.
Yeah,
also.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, if that game didn't get the hype that it did, it doesn't even get nominated. That's my thing, y'all. I feel like y'all put this in this category more because it was hype, more than the game actually standing on its own merits.
Absolutely.
You know. So, moving on. Adventure game of the year, God of War won that also. Family game of the year, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Fighting game of the year, Multiverses, which is ironic because Multiverses player count is like damn near non-existent at this point.
That shit dead, boy. Yo, stop these live service fighting games, man. Nobody doing that shit. That's crazy.
It won over JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Rumbleverse, Spider Heck. I never even heard of Spider Heck, and King of Fighters 15. It went over those.
I think that's more so because of hype, because that shit dead as fuck right now. So like, yeah. Definitely hype.
Racing game of the year went to Gran Turismo. There was only three it was only three in the category. It won over F1 and Need for Speed Unbound.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
it would have lost against Forza though. Just want to put that out there.
Oh, here we
go. RPG of the year went to Elden Ring. Sports game.
What were the other choices for RPG?
Citizen Sleeper, Weird West, Weird West, World of. Yeah, I didn't even know that was an RPG.
How was that even? Yeah, see people.
What? Yeah, RPG.
That's not an
well,
RPG.
Well, I guess I'm thinking JRPG. That's why I'm like, never mind.
Even Western style. It's not even that. It's not even a Western style RPG.
World of Warcraft and it went over Xenoblade Chronicles 3 also. Yeah.
It's wild.
Now here's something that doesn't make no sense to me, but maybe I'm wrong. That this is not that crazy. So sports game of the year, Ali World won over NBA 2K, MLB The Show, Mario Strikers, and EA Sports, because they call it EA Sports FIFA now.
That's horrible.
I don't even know what Ali World is.
So Ali is a skateboard game where you kind of you do tricks and stuff like that while you're going downhill and whatnot. It's a pretty popular game because it's got 3 games in the series. You got Ali 1, 2, and then the newest one that came out last year, which is Ali World. Which from what I've seen, it looks really dope. So, but I can't speak to the gameplay because I haven't played it yet.
Okay. I haven't played it either. Just not my style of game.
Best strategy simulation game went to Dwarf Fortress. Never heard of it, but not my lane anyway. Immersive reality game of the year, Red Matter 2. That won over The Last Clockwinder, Tentacular, Moss Book 2, and Cosmonious High. Asa, familiar with these?
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet on the content front for what did they call it? Immersive reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, been pretty quiet. So hopefully next year I'll have some bigger ones, right? I'm gonna need to drop from this beautiful panel.
Yeah.
And go to sleep because it's pretty late here. So
yeah, appreciate you coming through. I know it was late, and you couldn't stay the whole time. Appreciate you, Asa.
No, thanks everyone. It was a good time. I've been quiet for the last little bit.
The best person I've ever met in the UK, BG.
What?
I mean, there was a time where the UK people were the worst people on YouTube. Then the Australians took over.
Bro, what kind of shit is that to say to somebody that lives in? Like, what are you talking
I'm
about,
just
bro?
saying. When we first came to
That's
YouTube,
the
back
nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. No, thanks.
when we came into YouTube in 09, the UK people were out of control. Then the Australians defeated you, and the bald people came from the north and killed all of them.
This sounds like a history book lesson. Like this is
Game of
crazy.
Thrones,
The
right?
bald people came from the north and just conquered everybody.
The North remembers.
But appreciate you, Asa. All right, man.
All right, I drop. Thanks,
You
everyone.
gotta do a plug, Ace, or you just
A
get
little plug you can get, Game On Daily every Saturday. We've got Go Live. That's 9 in the UK, so 4 o'clock EST. I've got my own little channel as well, Asa Game On Daily, where I do most of the VR stuff and things like that. So yeah.
BG, how come Tony can't act like that?
Continue to keep Gaz in check. He gets a little
People
crazy.
think that I do that. I really don't.
You're no shout out to Gaz. Like I really like y'all show, but you're his handler. I don't know if you know.
I've heard.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. You're his handler because when you got the crazy friend, but you need the calm, voice of reason to keep the crazy friend in check. That's what Asa is to Gaz.
So keeping them grounded. You're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Asa, brother. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, catch you later. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, everyone in chat as well.
See ya.
All right.
Huh?
What was that, Bon?
How come Tony can't act like that?
Oh, civilized. Tony must have been born on the opposite end of wherever Asa lives in the UK. Maybe Tony probably wherever Top Boy was shot. Wherever where Top Boy, the UK show. Never mind.
Your Top Boy's a good show, but that's actually funny. I actually believe that.
Whatever ghetto area Top Boy, wherever they do that at, that's where Tony probably from. I never watched. I've seen one episode of Top Boy. I was never able to get it. Maybe I should give it another shot. I don't know.
It's kind of hard to try to take. I don't know. Is it just me? It's kind of hard to take the thugs over there serious. All right, fam. Gonna pluck you.
That's
gonna pluck you, fam. I don't know, bro.
No, I get what you said. It's crazy for us to think that because they will stab us and throw acid in our
the hell out
face.
of me. I'm pretty sure of it.
They'll stab you up in an alley and leave you there. Like
I believe it. But it's hard to hear them and be like, yeah, fam, gonna stab you, bro. And then I'm from Chicago too, so it's like. I don't know. I deal with far worse here.
Chicago niggas scared of the people in the UK?
Not me. That's what I'm saying, bud. It's like, I don't know. I've seen and heard far worse here. Did I hear that? It's like, nah.
Yeah.
Hey, give me what was it? Your play fab? Give me your play fab 5. You tallywhacker. No, I'm sorry. I can't be.
No, I completely understand. It's hard to take it serious, even when they're clearly threatening. It's hard.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I get it, man.
I'm gonna stab you, fam. They probably will stab me. I'll give them that much, though.
Give me your money, dickhead. All that. All right, brother. All right. Okay. Best independent game, that went to Tunic. Best mobile game went to Marvel Snap. Online game of the year went to Final Fantasy 15 Endwalker. 14 Endwalker. My bad. Yeah. Best game design went to Elden Ring. Best game direction went to Elden Ring, and finally game of the year went to Elden Ring as well. So
New York.
Imagine Horizon Forbidden West not getting best game design. That is crazy.
Who won that for that?
The Elden Gods.
Elden Ring won game direction, game design, and game of the year. Yeah.
Oh no, I agree with that one. Elden Ring's world design is well done. And no, that's no shade to Horizon. I'm just simply saying it's spectacularly done. Like you can get into that and find new shit every other day.
Yeah, I still want them to just release a damn. Because
like I said, how they not release DLC for that game?
That's what I said.
Besides Coliseum, no, I don't even think there is. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're just like
I thought it leaked that they were going to be putting out DLC for Elden Ring.
Yeah, I don't know, but okay, yeah, that was all the dice winners. God of War and Elden Ring kind of like took up most of the awards, pretty much. Shout out to that. Shinji Mikami is leaving Tango Gameworks. Shout out to the legend. A lot of people
falling at Microsoft, did he?
No, but he's old now. I assume he's just gonna retire. I assume. How old is he? Let me check.
Isn't he like pushing like 60?
57. That ain't old.
Oh, he's in his 50s. I thought he's older. I thought he was like mid 60s at least. I don't know if I still want to develop because he's been in the industry for a long ass time, man. I would retire and
he's younger than Kojima.
I was gonna say, ain't Kojima like 60?
Yeah,
60.
59.
And he's definitely
he about to put out Death Stranding 2, and he working on some cloud shit. So I mean, I don't know,
And he working on Geoff.
Yep. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow. I just caught that. Ayo, man.
You crazy? Yeah, he's been active in game development literally since 1990. So the year I was born, that's when he started developing games. Mm-hmm. So my whole life, I would retire, but that's just me. I would enjoy my legacy and all this money and sit back and enjoy it. But y'all think he might go somewhere else?
It'd be funny if he do. It'd be very funny if he do.
He would show up on PlayStation.
I wouldn't find it funny at all.
It'd be hilarious.
Xbox gamers would be pissed because it would kind of feel like that dude who went back to Insomniac.
Drew Murray.
Yeah,
Drew Murray.
Man, it would be just
like
that.
There was a lack of
worst.
vision and said, "Let me go back to where shit makes sense."
I think they were just all clashing because they had Daryl Gallagher, who he worked with before, but it seems like too many chiefs, I guess, and wanted to be in head of what they were doing. But it would be crazy for him to have started his own studio with Tango and then dip and go to some PlayStation studio. That would be crazy to see, but I don't believe that's the case.
Yeah, I think he has more of a chance of going to that new game studio that's made by the dude that did Silent Hill and Gravity Rush, Bokeh Game Studios, because they're making a game called Splitterhead, and he already did like a interview with them already. So if he were to go to any studio after this, I think he would go over there.
And Slitherhead, definitely. What is this? I think it's Slitherhead, Slitherface, some shit like that. That definitely looks up his alley or something he would want to make as well. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those devs came from Japan studio anyway and made their own studio. So I could definitely see him going there for sure.
Legendary figure though. It's like you said, BG's been in it so long. So it's crazy. If he's retiring, because he didn't quite say he was retiring. So
no, he didn't.
There is leeway and some room there for him to actually appear somewhere else. I hope that's not the case, but yeah. I mean, because we didn't really get a chance to get much from him. Actually, we didn't get anything from him because Hi-Fi Rush, which I love, by the way, that was made by his understudy, John Johannes. So we didn't even get one from him, from Shinji. So I don't know. I would love to see him actually. Well, it's too late for that, but I would have loved for him to actually given us a new sequel or maybe to Evil Within or something like that, or something before he left.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that we're still going to get an Evil Within, of course. I don't know. We'll see what he ends up doing. Because Kojima went and started his own studio. He could also do that too. I'd just be thinking about from my perspective, like if I'm them, I don't want to, start no new studio at that age. But they love what they do, and I'm And I'm just always looking for the easy way out. That's just me, though. All right. What else we got? Okay, so only a few more things. I got Wolong on my list. It's not out yet. It comes out next week. March, what is it? March 3rd?
No, this Friday.
Oh, is this Friday?
We're at the end of February.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You know, the blacks get the shortest month, of course. How could I forget?
Of course.
How come nobody in the chat wish us a happy Black History Month?
Because they don't like black people, Bond.
Oh, man.
Ain't no like donations for Happy Black History Month. Ain't no like appreciation for the first only black podcast on YouTube.
Bond, they're not even gonna hit the like button, Bond. They ain't gonna send no money.
You're right about that. But BG, I keep hearing that, I don't like black people. But I'm here for y'all.
I think that might be valid.
But I'm here for y'all.
Cancel.
But are y'all here for us?
Cancel Bond 2023.
I mean, how many years have I been on this podcast, BG? Since episode 2? How many years? We on Weapon Wheel 354. What's 354 divided by 12? I can't math after 8 p.m.
Me either. I can't do math any day.
Somebody do this math for me.
29.5.
354 divided by... I've been... Nah, I'm fucked up.
29.5, but that would be impossible.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do 354 divided by 52 because it's 52 weeks in a year.
Yep, there we go. See? I've been entertaining y'all niggas for almost 7 years. I remember when Solid Rev's kid was dressed up as Dumars in The Curious Case of Halo when he was an infant.
It's a long
You need y'all
time,
to show
man.
us some love. Yeah, man.
He gonna start
when
playing.
BG was wearing the Megamind fitteds.
Oh, man. I might bring that back.
Megamind.
Wow. I might bring those back. Keep fucking with me. I'm going to bring it back.
Man's gonna start playing Mary J. Blige. 11 years I sacrificed.
Banger.
That's what it is, man. But you want your recognition.
Wolong is coming out though. Let's do Metacritic predictions.
It's on Game Pass
I'm
day
going
one,
with
right?
I'm going with 82.
It's on Game Pass day 1.
Yep.
78.
I'm going with 82.
I'm in the 70s. I think
that's a good score by Smooth.
78.
Take that.
I'm in the 70s. I would probably say about a 78 as well.
I'm gonna say 84.
Nah.
What do you mean? Like it's Team Ninja. They're really doing is making a different version of Neo. It seems like. I don't see them.
I think Smooth's on the money with an 80 something.
You could be right though. The people who have played it extensively are saying they love it. I just don't think it'll get the full love, from everybody, as far as these critics go rather. But to me, when I played it,
It's a lot of performance issues from what I'm seeing.
That's probably for the beta part, but I don't know. But from what I played, I wasn't blown away. I'll say that. And when I get that feeling, typically I'm correct. I think it'll be like in the 70s.
It's in Game Pass, 78.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it mattered about that, but yeah, I think it'll be in the 70s for sure. I think, by the way, PlayStation got the bigger, better deal with the Way of the Samurai, whatever that's coming.
Rise of Ronin.
Rise of Ronin. There you go. I don't know where the hell I got that name from, but yeah, Rise of Ronin. I think to me looks better, but I don't know. I think the game will be decent enough. I just don't think it'll be like it'll hit the 90s at all. Come close to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be playing it. It's day one for me. I love my Souls games, and I haven't played one in about a year. I had to make sure.
You just played one last year in Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's what I said. I haven't played one in about a year.
Were you playing these games like Madden?
Because listen, Souls games, there was like a huge surge of them. A lot of them coming out at some point. So, and we also got Lies of P coming out this year also.
Lies of what?
That's going to be dope.
Lies of P Bond, the Pinocchio Souls game, pretty much.
Yeah, that look like it's gonna be pretty dope.
Also launching in Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So
how about Microsoft basically just saying Game Pass is like they're basically like discrediting their whole business model to try to get like Sony not to be able to stop this deal.
Well, Sony can't stop it. The FTC or whatever has to stop it. But I agree with you. I mean, they had to do what they had to do, though. You have to
Like,
say
like this is like I honestly don't think it was worth it for Microsoft basically just to say like we're getting our asses fucked on all fronts.
Oh my God.
We
For the
really
money.
need this. Like
for the future, I guess it probably will be though.
yeah, but I'm just saying like it is literally taking the bullets out of every Xbox fan's gun. Like they have nothing now.
I mean that also highlights that a lot of Xbox zealots on their shows and Twitter have been lying for years.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lying about what? I don't understand. Wait,
Lying about the sales of these consoles for Xbox.
Basically, Microsoft's saying that we're trash. Y'all need to let us have Activision Blizzard. Like every narrative that Xbox fans have been talking about, from Game Pass to sales, Microsoft blew it all up. Yep, about
it's been
buying
confirmed by
studios,
the head.
making games. Like yeah, like they just threw their whole company under the bus to try to secure Call of Duty.
Let me help out Smooth.
A level of simping that's crazy.
Let me help out Smooth. I'm play devil's advocate. Both of them have been sandbagging themselves. Both PlayStation and Xbox have been sandbagging themselves to make themselves look like the weaker one, which is crazy. Like both of them are like, listen, I'm a bitch. That's literally what both of them been saying.
Yeah, but
I'm soft. I ain't got it.
Yeah, but there's only one that's $1 trillion corporation. So really
That's
and
true.
truly,
Sony's
whatever
downplaying
PlayStation's
themselves
saying is.
Well, Sony's
Pales
trying
in
to
comparison.
downplay themselves, while Microsoft is literally saying,
they're trying to get a deal done. So I mean, I don't know why everybody's taking this thing like the way that it is, and a lot of the information that they're putting out is
You're telling me that Microsoft is lying about the information they've been telling us.
No, I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying, but what they're doing is I'm not making an argument. I'm just saying is like they have to make their case, and their case is true. Nobody's been running around saying Xbox is selling is the best selling platform or the market leader or anything like that. That's not been the case. We know how the Xbox and PlayStation in Europe.
They were saying last generation, you had a lot of zealots, Smooth, that were saying that the Xbox was selling on par with PlayStation for a long time, and that was never the case. And then when they stopped giving the sales numbers, people were assuming, oh yeah, it's at about like 70, 80, 90 million. That's what people were saying. Are you kidding me?
Nah, that was for the 360.
Game is this
they
on
never did
screen?
that for the Xbox One.
No. It's the game from Epic that I sauced them out of getting some free gear. I already forgot the name of it, but I finessed them out.
Is that Paragon?
Yeah, that's what it is, Paragon. Yeah, the game that I swindled them out of getting free stuff from that people claim I did allegedly. But go, carry on.
Is it?
This is it's a new name though, isn't it called like Succession or something like that?
Yeah, they gave it a new subtitle. Yeah,
predecessor or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Is it a live service game?
I don't know if it's still kind of getting support. They're trying to keep it alive, but so technically, it's live service. Listen, I need this deal to like be finalized because I think it's kind of killing gaming, announcements and news and not game development, but like us knowing there's a lot of shit we clearly don't know about because both Microsoft and PlayStation are still trying to keep certain things close to the vest. Yeah, they're still having shows and announcing stuff, but there's some shit that they purposely are not saying because of this, and we know that, and I hate that for us. We're losing out on a lot of information because this thing is still going on.
I kind of agree.
PlayStation's they've been like, that showcase needs to happen because especially with the state of play, shit was ass, and it's not a good way to start the year.
I don't know if that's why that deal was delayed, but I feel like this the Square Enix situation. I feel like Sony was going to probably announce that they're acquiring them, but are holding off until the situation is done with, probably because of that.
Yeah, I need them to hurry up and buy that bougie ass freaking publisher. That's one thing I
Why
I
do
need
you
to
want?
happen.
Why
I
do you
need that to
want
happen.
them to
Get
buy
them
them?
shit, get them off the planet. Like put them in that PlayStation prison.
You just
Get them
salty
outta
smooth,
here.
but I don't even think PlayStation is actually going to buy them. But
Yo, we have not talked
Smooth,
about the most
Smooth,
important topic
how can you
today.
think that Square being bought by PlayStation is a prison, but Activision being under Microsoft, who hasn't really produced anything substantial since the start of this generation, is not a prison?
Well, hey, how bad can it get?
That's your answer?
That's
Great
how-
answer.
Hey, I don't have an issue with that. Activision wasn't my first choice, but hey, I ain't going. I'm not gonna.
We know.
Activision was not. Yeah, Activision was definitely not my first choice, but hey, that's what landed in the pocket. But nah, I just need. I want. I need some. I need Square Enix to hurry up and go to PlayStation, man. I just need that to happen. All this like this free shit they're doing. Just get bought. Just go. I think PlayStation need to make a splash with Square Enix.
I don't think it makes any sense for that acquisition
not.
to happen. I don't think it makes any sense
they
anymore.
don't
Honestly,
make games on Xbox anyway, so why buy them?
Yeah, and they make some games for Switch anyway.
Some.
You can make that argument, but I think
Can we touch on one of these? There's one topic I want to talk about because we're running low on time. I want to talk about that Nintendo fan in the school that got his Switch taken from him.
What happened?
He like
he beat up his teacher.
6'6" Smash Brothers.
that
looking.
I assume that kid is neurodivergent. Like he has some mental. Like that couldn't have been like just
something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That definitely wasn't. That wasn't a regular to act that way over a Switch being taken. No,
Yeah.
that's no.
I mean, Shoko been saying it for
like he was hitting uncontrollably hard, so that was the
he had to have like extreme autism or something.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
The boy beat up somebody because of his Switch being taken. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
there's this video. Yeah, there's this video. He charges at the teacher, like tackles. The video looks like he's like a 6'6" linebacker, and he tackles the teacher and starts to like double hand just cave her face in almost. That's what it looks like. It's
It was a special needs kid, and that was a special needs teacher. I mean, like,
let me look that up.
Yeah, some like, you know how they say it's our strength to be politically correct. Like, I'm just saying, like, even a man, let alone a woman, would have a hard time defending themselves against a person that ain't going to feel pain rushing towards you.
Stop. Damn, dude.
I'm just saying, like, look at. I'm watching Game of Thrones. Look at Hodor.
Hold the door.
Oh my God.
Yeah, hold the door, Hodor.
No, the dude is 6'6". You're right. He's a big dude.
Like it wouldn't matter if it was special needs or not.
Yeah.
6'6", I'm gonna assume at least 240 plus. I'm what 220, 6'5". He's 6. Yeah, so he's got to be 6'6", 220 plus. Like, ain't no woman has a chance. Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, no chance in hell.
The worst part about it was everybody around was like the slowest to react. They saw this woman getting her
that security guard.
But I would not help out any teacher. You know why?
Oh my God.
I am not putting my hands on a kid and getting in trouble, getting sued, getting fired. Oh, hell no. You want to fight him off and learn equality the hard way.
Nah.
I ain't doing shit.
I mean, 6'6".
I ain't doing
and
shit.
X amount of pounds, man. And based off the video, I seen like a lot of female other teachers, I guess faculty or whatever around. So I can understand someone of that stature and
No, you also don't want to be the teacher that touches. I remember one time in high school, this one kid was beating the fuck out of another kid in the lunchroom in the cafeteria. The teacher came over and chokeslammed this nigga like Kane into a trash can, and he got fired.
I also think it's like bystander syndrome, like everyone is kind of like in shock and also expecting the next person to be the one to react. So I think a lot of that plays into these types of situations as well.
I just call it cowardice. I mean,
it ain't cowardice.
That's not always the case, man.
Call me a coward then for not wanting to lose my job.
You're not about to put your life. Everyone is not.
But if I see somebody being attacked, if I see somebody being attacked though, especially
you see somebody being held at knife point, you're gonna help them.
Yeah, I will. I've done it before. Yeah, and I'm not saying
even help a person get beaten.
I have a spine. That's all it comes down to. And I'm not saying every situation.
Spine, brother.
Sometimes it is about a spine, brother. But my whole point of it is but specifically in this situation, if I see
certain situations where you don't want
17-year-old boy beating up on an unconscious woman, yeah, I'm going to step in and stop that. I'm not going to sit around.
That type of situation is different, though. Like, I agree.
That's what I'm talking about specifically.
I think if you're a faculty at a school or something like that, you know, you definitely gonna want to get this kid off the teacher.
Well, that's my point.
You know?
That's what I was arguing about.
Yeah, but you're
instance. Yeah, but you took it to that. I wasn't. I'm talking about
I'm not even helping a woman get her ass
over somebody. That's not helping. That's
what you say, but that's not crazy.
That's what you said.
I'll give you a perfect example. I've seen this happen before. A dude was whooping his girlfriend's ass in the street. Some white knight ass simp came over to help her out.
That's how dudes
both of them started beating him up after that.
Exactly.
It ain't worth it.
Yeah, like it can happen, but if you don't know how to fight, but I'm not worried about that.
The best course of
but
action.
like
I'm minding my business.
I feel you, Bun, and I know some dudes will probably fall back and say, "I'm not going to get involved in that." Who knows what this woman is going to be about? I've seen these situations happen where a woman turns around and be against the guy who came and helped her. I understand that. My entire point is if I see somebody killed and beat the hell up, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, or pull out my phone. That's cowardice.
Yeah, point out your phone.
Anybody pulling out their phone.
That one story last year.
Don't pull your phone out. But
that one story last year, the girl was getting attacked on a train, so a dude came over and just jawed him, knocked him the fuck out, saved the girl. He fucking went to jail for 2 years for assault.
Oh, the guy that got knocked out?
No, the guy that defended the girl and knocked the dude out that was attacking her.
Damn.
He got jail time. Yeah, nah. I fully subscribe to equality, and if you can't handle it, do what I do. Walk with the strap.
Now, see, I agree with you because I got the strap. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I got my license here to carry concealed here in Chicago. That's why I say I'm also not that worried about that. Like, if I really want to get somebody off of them, I can get them off of them. But to sit there and see this student beating the hell out of a teacher, the boy is 6'6", like you probably said.
In that situation, absolutely. Pull this kid off the fucking teacher. That shit is crazy. Absolutely.
And he kicked and punched her, apparently hit her in the back of the head about 15 times.
Yeah, he was knocked out like a UFC fighter.
Sheesh.
You know what? If the kid really was special needs, maybe taking the Switch wasn't the best idea.
Maybe he need a Switch.
Well, I mean, you know,
different type.
I think what that part of it is like maybe he was being disruptive or something like that. So, you know,
I've seen autistic kids. They be beating the fuck out of themselves, punching themselves, smacking them their heads in the walls and shit. Like they activate berserk mode. They cannot be stopped or reasoned with.
That's crazy, man. But I heard him speak. He does sound like he might be neurodivergent, like you pointed out, by the way, though.
Yeah. Easy.
This is also another reason
that he hasn't had. I'm almost positive he's most likely acted out like that before. So I do think that if you know, in those type of special needs schools, I thought that they'd supposed to like know like the triggers and whatnot for the kids and whatnot. So I think if that would have been one of his triggers, it probably would have been a poor choice to take the Switch. But then again, I guess it's never knowing like, you know, what would trigger somebody with special needs.
Here's what worries me more though. Where the fuck, especially in this day and age when bad shit happens in schools, where the fuck was security?
That was a security guard nearby.
There was a security guard. He just got there mad. It took him a long ass time.
Why are they always late?
Like by the time the security could really even get into like touching distance, she'd already had a concussion.
Yeah, 3 of them.
If I'm her, I'm suing the fucking school. Rest short, I'm suing the fucking school. She's there to teach, not fight all 6'6" niggas. Stop that.
They're probably gonna be like, you shouldn't have took away his Switch. They'll probably find some way to get around.
Well,
I'm not supposed to take away peripherals.
Well, where's Blandrew when we need it? I mean, like we like he was smashing GameCube controllers into his face. So like that's what I'm saying. Like these Nintendo dudes, they got that strength.
Indeed. Well, I think that's all I got for today. Yep, that's about everything. Kind of a light week, but yeah, we did our thing. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, we can get to these outros. We got the next episode of The Last of Us about to come out in 15 minutes. Not particularly excited about this this episode. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this whole because
how y'all been feeling about the show overall, though?
it's just right. My issue with it is just not. It just feels rushed.
Very rushed. Especially these later episodes, very, very rushed.
Yeah, that's my issue.
They spend too much time on shit that don't matter.
Yeah. So 12 episodes would have been, probably perfect instead of 9. But I get it. I think that's probably due to when you make the first season of a show, they're not going to give you like the most unlimited budget, right? You got to prove yourself, and then probably a season 2, your budget increases. So
this budget was at the same of a Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
So like, nah, nah. They
and most of that went to the set because they custom built all like them towns they in. Those are not real towns. They custom built all of that. So that's where most of the money went to.
Yep.
So
episodes should have been like 90 minutes apiece.
Agreed.
Were you
all right
crying your tears out over episode 3 like a lot of people?
Oh, brother. Episode, what was it, 5? That was definitely the best episode.
Shower, BG.
Oh, man. I can't believe he told another man that. That is, what a line. What a bar. What a bar. All right.
That post-apocalyptic riz right there. That's all it was.
Facts. All right, let's do these outros. Get out of here. Appreciate all y'all coming through. Umbra, go ahead.
No doubt. Thank you for having me, brother. It's been a minute. I know you invited me at one point before, but I was like busy and everything. I couldn't get back through here. So I always appreciate, your openness of having me come through on your platform. And shout out to everybody in the chat, even those who gave me a bit of a hard time. But you all were kind of nice tonight. I'm surprised. And just shout out to everybody here, Bun. It's been a minute, brother. And what was it, Blandrew that was here last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he in the chat.
What's up, Blandrew? And
I don't know what he doing.
Smooth, of course. So you've been with us a few times on the podcast and on here, of course, with me too. But haven't talked with you in a minute either. So all
man, gotta get you to play the Xbox, man. Please.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just want to thank you for having me on. If you all can look me up on as Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite on Twitter, you can find me there. And if you all would care to come through for the Xbox podcast at all, Xbox Factor on Tuesdays at 12 Eastern and Fridays, Xbox Infinite podcast at 7 o'clock Eastern.
All right. Yeah, I'm still going to do the super chats. Go ahead, Persona.
Hey, man, listen, shout out to the panel. Shout out to you, BG. Appreciate the invite. Shout out to the chat. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Share the stream out. And it was good chopping up with y'all, man. I hope you have a great weekend, great week.
All right. Smooth.
Yeah, what's up, man? It's a good episode. Happy to be here. Check out the channel. I got a video, I think, dropping tomorrow. And playing Xbox every Saturdays, man. All right.
All right. Jazzy.
Tomorrow is gonna be Pokemon President's Day.
Where the hell are you? Sound like you're in your bathroom.
No, I'm not in my bathroom at all. No. Pokemon President's is tomorrow. Shout out to Blend Juice ISO Nintendo podcast. And also shout out to the Gamer 2323 video.
Oh, get out of the bathtub.
I'm not in the bathtub, no.
Oh my god. All right. That's it. And Bond.
Smooth, I need an answer. Are you playing part 2 or not?
Eventually.
I need it done by the next 2 weeks.
Do you see all the games that are coming out or like that? I can't guarantee that.
BG, let me ask you a question, BG. How do you buy games if you complain you got no money?
I'm not buying them.
Game Pass, baby, right? Game Pass.
Game Pass. And some of them are
PC
review
and my
codes.
Xbox.
Catchy ass song.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Smooth.
All right, let me read these super chats. All right, Woden's Throne. Funny how Digital Foundry showed Atomic Heart running vastly better on PS5, even though Microsoft tool every opportunity to promote it and put it on Game Pass. Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. Like, yeah, there's been a whole bunch of games that are running, I guess, better on PS5, but I don't know what that's due to. I don't really care honestly either. But it is strange. A cracked lens 97. BG using his fleshlight for a mic. That's when my mic sounded crazy earlier. I don't have a fleshlight, sir. Don't need one.
You sure about that?
Why are you curious, Jazzy? Do you have one?
No. I had another question.
You hesitated.
Hey man.
Listen, listen. I don't kink shame. If you listen,
happening?
If y'all got it, listen.
Wait,
if you got
I don't know what a flashlight is.
Oh well, if you got a fleshlight in the chat, just drop some ones in the chat if you down with the fleshlight life. We don't judge, no kink shaming. Okay, no judgment zone. It's a safe space for us, man. Safe space for men. Blackout Y2K. AOBG, do you wear contact lens while gaming in VR? Have you tried it with glasses on yet? I did try it with glasses. It's doable because they did design it so you can wear glasses with it, but I still don't prefer it. I don't wear contacts, so I can't tell you about that. But glasses, it's doable, but like I said, I prefer to not have them on at all. It's too much stuff on your face. Pause. But it's too much stuff on. But that's too much stuff on your face, while you gaming. That's too much. Okay. The Brandalorian. Handhelds, by definition, can only be worse versions of the console games. They're only referred to comparatively. VR has more potential moving forward. Okay. West Side Maverick. Suicide Squad looks like the type of game Xbox would hype up. Oh man.
Yeah, they're right. Because they were hyping like Dick Riders and all those other games.
Richard, shout out to everybody for all these super chats. Of course, we appreciate it. He said, "Hey, jack off. I mean, move. I can't wait for our special date to TGI Fridays. I know how you people love that place. Hopefully, after dinner, I can join you in your special shower pics. What? I can join you in your special shower pics you post on Twitter. P.S. Happy Black History Month." I think he's talking to Jack. Because Jack is the only one who takes pictures in the shower and post them on Twitter. He's talking to Jack.
I know that Jack did that, but
yes, Jack is light skinned, unfortunately, and sometimes that part of him overtakes his logical decision making, and he acts on it.
That explains it. But what do you mean by those you people though?
I don't know about that part. Yeah,
and during Black History Month, sir.
Yeah, I don't know about the you people part. Rob the Don says they didn't work on this game for 8 years. They had a canceled Superman game. Okay, true. He also said Baldur's Gate 2 Dark Alliance was a GOAT on PS2. Maybe it was, but most people didn't play it.
I just realized that you can't give a nickname for that game because it already has the worst name imaginable.
Bald.
Baldur's Gate.
Moneybag 97. S not issue. It's Sony marketing contracts. That's another conspiracy theory that like Sony is like somehow sabotaging Xbox versions through their contracts. I don't know if I buy it though. Rob the Don.
There's been speculation about that. Like I've heard some people in the community speaking on it. But then how do you explain Atomic Heart though?
Yeah, true. Okay, Rob the Don. Tekken 8 has already been confirmed to come next year. Okay. He also said Vampire is the hype. He's talking about that Vampire game. Forget it, Brian. Hey, Bond, do you think Sony got rid of Evo's top 8? What do you mean, Evo's?
I don't know what he means by that.
What does he mean by that? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because I watch Evo every year. Do you mean Evo's top 8 like selected games? Is that what he means? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Project Martyr. Bond is right. Here's $20. I hope you all had a great Black History Month. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Say it with me, BG. Bond is right.
I'm definitely not saying it like that. Not in that voice.
We don't just say it regularly then.
I don't know if
I just gave you $20, dog.
I don't want to admit to Bond being right. He's going to use that against me forever.
You know what? Give me my $20 back. You can Venmo me that on my payment.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Moneybag97. Persona, stop the cap. Sony acts like COD is the baddest bitch on the block. Sony has been crying. Oh man. And Persona left after all this. This man giving Persona smoke. He left. Moneybag also said, Persona, you sound scared. Then he said, Persona dude in belly eating a banana. Sir, it's Black History Month. You cannot make references like that.
Damn.
This is Black History Month, sir. You cannot say a black man is eating a banana.
This is what I'm told you, BG.
Oh,
love the comments, bro.
You still in your bathtub, Jazzy. You stay quiet till you get out that bathtub with that bike.
No, I'm at the beach.
Oh man. And lastly, Rob Dedon also said, it makes perfect sense. Sony can't afford Amazon, Tencent, etc. to buy Square. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it makes much sense for them when they're fully benefiting off Square already. The only thing they would get more of is money, the money that Square makes by acquiring them, but still I don't think it makes much sense. And yeah, that's it. We are going to get out of here. Shout out to the viewers. Hit the like button. We appreciate y'all. And we're going to catch y'all next week. Shout out to the panel. Jack, I'll think about unfiring Jack and Alex. I think I'll have them back next week. If they apologize for using the Weapon Wheel Company card for going on dates with each other, maybe I'll think about bringing them back.
I would cancel Jack's flights right now.
All right, we out. Catch y'all next week. Peace.
Right. Plenty of tried and plenty of fail. You can run and hide, but you can't dodge what's in my weapon well. Name another pot that's big or small, I'm contesting it still. Name another spot or any section, I'm king of the hell. Name another squad that wanna test it, I'm beating them still. Bye. No, you can't dodge what's in my weapon well. Name another pot that's big or small, I'm contesting it still. Name another spot or any section, I'm king of the hill. Right. I know my bro King got me. See, that's a black bond that can't be broken. No Idris Alba, I'm a black bond. Aim in a scope and all black panel. You can never try playing us token. Yeah, we playing games, but now one of us playing or joking. Not at all. Oh wait. Then Jack Move came in with the trophies, God in a lane of its own. Like, how can you gamers approach me? So kids move to body you in Halo, then sing your family an angel emoji. Should've known, dog, you ain't got enough Series X's. Blind got all the answers, no, you ain't gotta ask Siri questions. All the latest gaming news gotta be here to check it. Since 2015 and beyond, I'm just here to respect it. When you at the top of your tier, it's a blessing. From the bottom, so no way we appear to be desperate. This for anybody doubting, I'm clearing a message. And if you ever had a problem, I'm here to correct. Plenty of fail. You can run and hide, but you can't dodge what's in my weapon well. Name another pot that's big or small, I'm contesting it still. Name another spot or any section, I'm king of the hill. Name another squad that wanna test it, I'm beating them still. No, you can't dodge what's in my weapon well. Name another pot that's big or small, I'm contesting it still. Name another spot or any section, I'm king of the hill. Right. I know what it is, man. Weapon Wheel Podcast, y'all know what we got in the building, man. We got BG. We got Kid Smooth, we got Jack Move, we got Black Bond, Blandrew, what you can't off strafe us, bro. Like, the strafe too strong.